Hello, welcome back to Wanda. My name is Beast. Today we're back with Grisaia. Today Today we will go down the you don't end up with anyone route.
Which is a bit of a mistake considering you picking.
By God, I did not hear a fucking word you just said.
I personally think that I personally enjoyed Yumiko-Route.
Something's up with your mic all of a sudden. Did you do something?
The IRA is sabotaging his microphone.
No.
Both the y'all's mics, they're kind of fucking up now, actually.
Oh, joy.
The moment you said, oh, joy, it sounded normal again.
Oh, okay. Hang on. I've got it right next to my face.
Yeah, now you sound normal again.
Okay, so that may be the secret of that. Although, maybe investing in a new
And
headset
what of me?
may be a better idea.
And Bud, speak. Speak.
Hello.
You also sound normal again.
My face
Yeah.
one. Are you sure it wasn't on your end?
Yeah. Like somehow Eagles exasperated fucking oh Lord or whatever it was.
Oh, joy. Yeah.
Oh joy. Fixed both of y'all's microphone.
Oh, great. That's how I fix technical problems. Sarcasm. Also, I will point out that I rather, as I was trying to say beforehand, I rather enjoyed Yumiko-Route as a bit like General Sir Adrian Carton de Vert, remarking, frankly, I rather enjoyed the war when he was missing limbs and an eye and other things.
Escape prison camp.
But yeah,
Frankly, I
like, the
rather
truth
enjoyed
of the thing is that you don't get a choice for Yumiko-Route, so she is essentially the you don't end up with anyone around. So yeah, she's just that down bad, apparently. Anyways, no, it's nothing should be the choice for Yumiko-Route, right?
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
If I remember correctly.
That's nothing. Another thing in this strange little interlude must be nothing more than a new part of her act. She'll no doubt be back to normal Michiru soon enough. Sorry, scared off the cat.
And with this act, the cat lives.
Yes. I see. Alright then, I'll be heading back to the dorm. I mean, I suppose that makes sense considering that the moment where she didn't feed Meow Meow, causing him to run away, was because of an emotionally vulnerable moment caused by her having to deal with liking Yuji now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Her condition appears favorable. There is nothing in particular to be worried about. I checked up on her. Isn't that sufficient? I'm not the girl's father, you know. I'm not obligated to spend all day nursing her.
Interesting phrase.
What, you still have a problem? I'll return. She'll return eventually. Imagine if, like, for the rest of Yumiko's route, like, we don't see Michiru ever again. Like, oh no.
She just vanishes.
She's just gone.
She's embraced a different personality and is swimming back to California. This one takes some time to explain.
She's just breaststroking across the fucking ocean. Let's not mock that everyone needs to be alone at times. It's a basic human need. Respecting that is very important, you understand. An excellent case in point. Yeah, there isn't a problem, I guarantee you that. So that's a fucking lie. Just as promised, Michiru returns shortly thereafter. I spot her walking down the dorm hallway, chewing on something with the reinvigorated expression of a woman who just passed a kidney stone. A bag, it would seem.
たり前でしょ。ちょっと具合が悪くなって風に当たりたかっただけだもん。
What are you eating?
ウルってさっき帰ってきた時に校門のところでマキナに会ってね。おかえりチリチルって言いながらひょいって何かを投げるものだから反射的にパクってもぐもぐしながらこれ何って聞いたら本物のウルテって言うから、そうかこれが本物のウルテかって思いながら食べてるのよ。やっぱりあれよね、本物は味が違うわね。
I think the nuance of Makina's real might be slightly different from what Michiru thinks, but it's probably best not to mention that. Let's see, anyways, you're feeling better now?
もちろんよ、休んだら元気会長ウルテもうまい。
Is that Michiru doing well too?
あのミチルってどのミチルよ。私は私じゃない。あんまり変なこと言わないでよね。もぐもぐ。
I see. Make sure to get to bed early tonight. Rest up and recover your health.
そんなこと言われなくても分かってるわよ。ふん、あんたなんか。チルチル、はい。パク。マキナ、これ何よ。それウルテ。もぐ。やっぱり三流品のウルテは味が落ちるわね。本物のウルテは美味しかったのに。
One other thing, Michiru. Take some stomach medicine tonight. If possible, get it from Sachi, not Makina.
わかった。でもなんで？
Because if you ask Sachi, she'll give you the real stuff.
本物の胃腸薬？一流の胃腸薬ってこと？効き目がすごいとか？
Just do it, alright?
もご、分かったわよ。なんかこれ、文具っぽい味がするわね。
What exactly is Urute, actually? Hold on.
It's cow tongue, I think. Hang on.
Very confusing. Sorry, like... I just see that someone sent me this picture, and the only words that went along with it were hag cat.
Right. Anyway, urute is tracheal rings or cartilage of windpipe of cows.
It does say, call it Adam's apple as well here, so...
Ah, okay.
Stuff like that from the cow. I don't know why people would eat that.
Well, in Argentina they eat testicles.
Yeah, but I don't care about that. I already can't stand if there's cartilage in a steak. I hate cartilage. Get that shit out of here.
Aye.
Yeah, anyways, like I said, someone just sent me that picture I sent and literally just said hag cat with it.
Right. I don't get where the hag idea came from, but...
I also don't know. Like, apparently it's some fucking girl's frontline character. Who knows? Nope, hold on. With this, the beach incident drew to a close. Human beings are multifaceted creatures. Perfectly normal for someone to change their tone of speech depending on who they're addressing. Fairly significant shifts in their personality aren't uncommon either. Something or other inspired atypical behavior from Michiru today, but I have no idea what the root cause was, and when you get right down to it, it's really none of my business. There's a line I shouldn't cross here. If I want to avoid tracking my old muddy footprints all over my classmates' fragile hearts, I need to continue to exercise some restraint as long as I live in this place. Everyone has their weaknesses. Human beings aren't omnipotent. If anything, we're largely powerless, and so we must also be resourceful. We're born utterly impotent, and no matter how long we live and how much we learn, we'll always have more weaknesses than strengths. Our resourcefulness, then, is the tool by which we work around these fundamental shortcomings. Sometimes we find a way to conquer our failings. More often we learn avoidance, ways to keep them from hurting us. Whatever the means, in the end we gain the ability to scrape by. As weaklings go, we're a hardy breed. One afternoon, just as I'm leaving the shopping area in front of the train station, something catches my attention. I draw to a halt and turn to look.
お客さんごゆっくり
Looks that can kill, and those who cringe in terror. If this were Nagasaki a few hundred years ago, you might guess someone had splashed mud on a samurai. But this is a modern town not far from Tokyo, and that right there is a young woman. That's Sakaki. Just a moment ago, I sensed an ominous, foreboding aura across the street, powerful enough to inspire a momentary surge of concern. Thought there might have been some terrorist attack in the making, but I guess it's just Sakaki being Sakaki. Might have been a bit on edge since I just paid a visit to Ichigaya to take care of some minor chores. Either way, I investigated the situation for safety's sake, only to find an individual in some ways more troublesome than your garden variety terrorists. Imagine someone tells you like, Jesus Christ, I wish I had to deal with terrorists instead of you. Like, there can at least shoot to kill. Sakaki Yumiko, a curt antisocial classmate of mine. Should about cover it. I'm rather amazed to find that she's capable of projecting such a ferocious aura as to fool my carefully honed instinct for danger. It seems she's still capable of surprising me. Quite impressive, really. Though it's not likely that many schoolgirls would particularly enjoy receiving that sort of compliment. Still, just what is she doing over there? Sakaki stands under a colourful yellow and red striped awning, glaring powerfully through the glass at the interior of a small store. Since the girl is usually defined by her emotionless and disinterested and a social vacuum of a personality, the intense passion in that gaze is somewhat surprising.
年頃の女の子がクレープ屋の前にいるんです。普通なら何かしら妄想絡みの推測が出てもおかしくないと思います。
Normally.
Sorry, I had to check what the fuck nubile means.
Oh.
So what Sachi's saying, like, you see a girl with a yacht on her. I hate myself for speaking those words out loud. Like, I was like, I could just say an ass, but then I was like, I could make it infinitely more cringe by saying gyat. And then I left my mouth and I immediately, like, regretted every single thing I said today. I craved death. Sachi having snuck up beside me at some point offers a typically helpful suggestion. Fantasies.
はい、そうですね。買ったクレープが急に破裂して全身クリームまみれになってベトベトになるとか、陳腐ながらもそういう妄想が一般的かと思われます。生クリームプレイか。
Where the fuck did you come from?
別に
Why is everyone here?
じゃないでしょそれ。
Look, I'm not asking for a description of your sexual fantasies, Sachi. I'm just wondering what Sakaki is doing in front of that shop. Quickly outpaced by the conversation, I attempt to get things back on topic. In the next moment, someone yanks vigorously on my sleeve. That's someone being mocking, of course. She's got a comically proud expression on her face, reminded of a toddler reporting that she went poopy all by herself to her parents, in full expectation of their lavish praise. I don't really think this girl is likely to have any accurate information, but I suppose it can't hurt to ask. Well, Makina, do you know something about this? What's going on with this Kaki?
きっとユミちゃんはあの店に因縁をふっかけて奪い取っては無下に潰して更地にする気なのよさ。
Great, thanks, you've been a big help. As expected, asking Makina was an utter waste of time. Not that I'm expecting anything resembling a coherent answer, but I just can't help myself. Why would Kaki need to do a thing like that?
え？ だって趣味なのよ。
When you use that disbelieving everybody knows that tone of voice, it almost sounds convincing.
それがユミちゃんの人間味なのよさ。
Violently snatch people's stores just to wipe them out of existence is her human side. Even for Skaki, that seems excessively malicious. I've been talking with these people for several minutes now, and none of them have said anything remotely insightful, or even coherent. Yet they collectively lost what little sanity they had left.
っていうかユージ、私たちが急に出てきても驚かないのね。
Huh? Oh, right, that's because I sensed your presence nearby.
へえ、相変わらず人間離れした回答ね。
Personally, I thought that bit about the whipped cream earlier was significantly more ridiculous. What's that all about, anyway?
ああ、その話ならやっぱ一度は女体盛りも経験しないとねってことでまとまったけど。
What? You reached consensus on that? The initial topic was ridiculous enough, but how the discussion might have developed towards and arrived at that conclusion is completely beyond my comprehension.
ちょっと一応言っておくけど、アマネが勝手に言ってるだけだからね。私は別に同意してないし。はい、ミチル様は純粋なピュアガールですよね。髪は金色に染めてますけど。こら、そこのメイド、あんたの今の言い方なんか引っかかるんだけど。あと髪の色もしれっとディスったでしょ。ビッチャー扱いか。ミチル様、10円あげますからここは抑えて。ビッチ顔でもビッチでないことは私も信じていますから。あ、10円ありがとう。じゃなくて、フォローするつもりならもっとちゃんとフォローしなさいよ。申し訳ございません。やはり髪も金色ですし、カラフルなピュアガールとでもした方がよろしかったでしょうか。論点はそこじゃねえ。ちょっと盛り上がるのはいいけど、あんたたちこれ以上騒ぐと私たちがこうしてるのが榊さんにバレて、きっと思いもつかない凄惨な復讐をされるわよ。それは困りますね。ミチル様、静かにしましょう。到底納得できないけど、場合が場合だけに一応黙っとくわ。ユミちゃんが意味深にニヤーっと笑うと怖いのよ。ホラーなのよさ。
So, I'm kind of getting the idea there's a deliberate surveillance operation on your part. Covert activities of this sort are well within the range of my professional expertise, and this noisy crowd of schoolgirls would have to be the single least competent operation, as I was saying. I feel mildly dizzy. Well, let's put a positive spin on it and say I'm always seeing new things when I'm with these people. Oh, though I never ever want to work a job with them. Of course, you can't say Skaki's much better with than the rest, since she still hasn't caught on. She's staring intently at the piece of paper at the shop window. Perhaps she's finally tracked down the menu that killed her family. At least I hope that's the menu. If that sheet of paper has the manager's name written on it or something, I'd have to assume Skaki's trying to place some sort of fatal curse on them.
もう30分もね。ああして微動だにしないのよ。店員さんもう半泣きだし。
In other words, you people may have been here for half an hour as well. I mean, forget Skaki, what's your objective here? I was originally thinking you came as a group, just sent her to buy everyone crepes.
いいえ、違います。第一、榊さんはそういう行動を取らないじゃないですか。
You do have a point.
私がたまたまユミちゃんを見つけて、みんなをメールで招集したのよさ。
A group stalking? You guys really got along?
人ごとみたく言ってるけど、お兄ちゃんだってそれでのこのこここまで来たんだから、おあいこなのよ。
But I just coincidentally happened to... Well, no, I guess you're right. Can't really deny that.
何よ、その玉虫色の返事。
Forget it. Truth of the matter is, I'd realized halfway through the sentence that defending myself would require a tiresome explanation, and I decided to follow the path of least resistance instead. It's one of the little tricks I've resourcefully picked up to make my life among these people easier.
で、最初のさっちゃんの言葉じゃないけどさ、ユージは何してると思う？榊さん。
Well...
警 記号としてはユミコクレープ屋。あ、そうだユージ、それ以前にあんたクレープって知ってる？
Think so, whipped cream and fruit rolled up inside a thin omelet, right? Not that I've ever eaten one. Well, no, maybe I did have once or twice, but judging from the way I can't particularly recall the experience, it can't be that memorable a treat. I mean, in all fairness, I'm basically not that interested in food in the first place, and the crepe is a sugary thing aimed at women and children. It would be downright strange if I was interested in it.
卵焼きというよりはパンケーキですが、基本的にはその通りです。
で、その甘いクレープ屋さんの前に榊さん、ユージはどう思う？
I see. I think I finally understand the situation. In short, they're all just bursting with sheer curiosity. After all, our cool and collect Skaki appears to be longing after a sugary treat. What kind of crepe will she order? What's the look on her face going to be like when the moment finally comes? How will she eat it? New side of Skaki Yumiko. A face she keeps carefully hidden from us. Might well emerge in that moment. Normally, this sort of event would hardly warrant such high expectations. You'd fully expect Skaki to casually buy something in her usual apathetic way, then casually eat it without any particular expression on her face. But for some reason, Skaki appears to be seriously conflicted instead. This tantalizing hint of something out in the ordinary has clearly fueled the group's hopes. Skaki, every once in her concentration focused on the menu in front of her, glares into the window like a thug trying to intimidate someone into submission. Can't say I've ever seen anyone buy a treat with an expression like that on her face. What on earth is she thinking about at the moment?
ケツネ一丁、ネギと揚げ玉ぎょうさん入れて、あとお出汁もよーけ目で入れといてな。
お姉ちゃん、うちうどん屋ちゃうねん。クレープ屋さんやねんで。
What the hell was that?
いや、緊張感に耐えられなくなったのよさ。
マキちゃんがいきなりボケたので、返すのに精一杯でした。
Right, but why'd you bother?
あんだけすごい顔してっから、突然そういうこと口走ったりしないかなって思ったのよさ。
Okay, look, not everybody is as bipolar as you are. Skaki may seem fearsome at times, but this girl is frightening in her own right.
いや、榊さんはきっとこう考えてるはずよ。
You're supposed to be the responsible elder here, right? Don't get caught up in Makina's games.
いいじゃないのよさ。つかユージ、あんたマキナとかさっちゃんと私への対応に差がないか？ん？
I'm treating you like the adult you should be. Also, do me a favor and don't try to talk like the kids these days at your age. It's just embarrassing to watch.
豊島か！私を豊島と下げすんでるのか？
Forget it. I give up. Do what you want.
ちぇ、まあいいや。というわけで、皆さん榊さんに注目。
Aone moves the conversation right along with all the lurching resonance of a drunkard trapped in the height of a midlife crisis.
乳首を落としたんですけど。
Instantly, I feel the air around me freeze solid. Ignoring this completely, Amine forges on ahead with their monologue.
右の、ピンクくて、ちょっと小さめなんだけど、知りません？
Please stop. You're disgracing yourself as a human being.
ダメだった？今の。
Your beloved Kansai is the cultural capital of Japanese comedy, isn't it? Can't you tell the difference between a safe joke and one that's just awkward for everyone involved?
ちょっと待ってって。そんなん乳首とかめっちゃセーフやん。あっちやったら父放り出して外を歩いてるおばちゃんとかおんのに、なんで私だけが？ね
え。もういいんですよ、あまねさん。
さっちゃんまで。やっぱダメなの？今のは。ねえ。
We get the full screen again for once.
そもそも乳首って落ちんのか？ダピ？ごめんマキナ。ちょっとお姉ちゃん、一人にしてくれないかな。
Nah, you see, a nipple is just a twist cap, you know? You just twist it open to get to the milk. Oh lord, that was bad. Finally crushed by the awkward atmosphere, Amine slowly crumbles to the ground in shame.
じゃあ、次はチルチルの番ね。
Seems Michi was anticipating this possibility, as she's been keeping uncharacteristically quiet and inconspicuous since the comedy routine started. To no avail, of course, something close to panic spreads across her face.
っていうか、どうしていきなり順にネタ出しするのが義務みたいになってるのよ。
ノリです。こういうのは乗ってこそだと思いませんか？
でも自信ないし。面白いとか面白くないのは実は関係ないのよさ。
ええ、ここで大切なのはみんなが作った雰囲気に水を差して壊さないことです。みちる様、お分かりですよね？
わかったわよ。
この恨み腹さで
カ
終了です、みちる様。
ーン。だから言ったじゃないのよ。
Michi lets out a strange, piteous wail and collapses to the ground. Your people are seriously cruel.
チルチルが好きだからこそやったのよ。
That effect.
ネタは残念ながら本当に面白くありませんでしたが、そんなことは些細なことです。そうですよね、みちる様。
もういい。話しかけないで。
Michi responds to her friend's tough love by curling up into a fetal ball next to Amine. But I'm not well versed with these matters, so if Makina says it is motivated by affection, I guess I'll have to take a word for it.
じゃあ最後はお兄ちゃんなのよさ。
What, me too?
はい、当然です。まさか風見さん、ご自分だけは例外と思われましたか？
Well, I guess not.
期待してるのよさ。こうなったらユージのがいくら面白かろうと八つ当たりしてやるんだから。
Why'd you feel the need to declare that? What a mess. Then again, even this nasty little game is nothing compared to the many seriously unpleasant varieties of humor I've had to deal with in the workplace. Consciously tuning out all sensory data, I turn my focus completely inward and rapidly begin to devise a plan. Speed is crucial in this sort of thing. A gag centered around Sakaki, eh? It'll play up the gap between her girly taste and violent personality. Seems like it might fit the bill. Alright, that should work. I raise my head to find everyone who has vanished. Amine and the others are gone. Even Sakaki, who had been planted like a statue in front of the crepe shop throughout our little routine, has suddenly gone missing. No, I guess she's still around after all. She's not currently in my field of vision, but there seems to be someone emitting an aura of murderous anger behind me. And there's no mistaking this menacing metallic sound. Seems she's managed to sneak up on me at some point.
何をしていたの？
Hold that thought. Can you try saying excuse me, which might make a better weapon, a banana or a strawberry flavored crepe? Just an experiment.
何？意味不明なことを言って煙に巻こうとしてるの？
Right, sorry, forget it. You want to know what I was doing here? I was observing you, Sakaki.
そう。とりあえず殺すわ。
Sorry, but that's well beyond your capabilities, as I think you've known for some time now. I like how his reaction to I'm going to fucking kill you is, well, you can certainly fucking try, but you know it's not gonna work.
Dude, I would let her try and kill me.
Yeah, we get it, bottom. When I turned back, Sakaka was indeed waiting for me. Despite the anger smoldering beneath the surface, there's no obvious sign of rage on her face. She's expressionless, as always. I guess I should interpret that as a positive thing, but it feels more like a letdown. Might have been interesting to see some naked emotion from her for once. Where'd the others go?
一目散に逃げたわ。クレープ屋の前まで行って、メニュー一つ満足に選べずにいた痛い女に、よっぽど失礼なことを言っていたんでしょうね。
Oh, so that's what was going on there. Yeah, we were all kind of racking our brains trying to figure out why you were just standing there like a statue. To be more precise, we were amusing ourselves by inventing ludicrous theories, but I might as well leave that unsaid.
口を滑らせたのね。自滅というやつかしら。一生の不覚だわ。
Why the petard again? I really don't think it's that big of a deal. So were you able to buy a crepe in the end?
途中でいらなくなったわ。
Let's see.
最初に少し悩んだのよ。
Ah, right. Still discussing this? She's only talkative. I mean, if she's gonna give me the real story, then why lie about not wanting one in the first place?
両方とも美味しそうだから決めるのに迷ったの。
You see?
すごく迷ったの。
Right.
すごく迷ったの。
That hard a choice, say.
笑うところのつもりだったんだけど。
And a fact, sorry, I guess I missed the cue.
いいけど。
Skaki averts her face uncomfortably. I do feel bad about making her joke fall flat, but I seriously didn't catch it. To be honest, I still don't understand when or why I was supposed to laugh. Well, because the two of us just aren't cut out for this sort of thing. Skaki may not be much of a comedian, but I'm hardly the best audience. So, you never end up making a choice?
決まったわ。
Then why not buy it?
そうね。
But you're not holding a crepe.
時間が経ちすぎていたのね。見たら店員がずっと怪げな表情を浮かべていたわ。すぐにこの店はもう利用できないと悟って立ち去ろうとしたんだけど、なかなか他の客も来なくて、離れるきっかけがつかめなくて。
Well, yeah, since you were standing there glowering like the incarnation of wrath, I expect any potential customers fled in terror.
で、あなたたちの姿を見つけて、ようやくね。
I see. Again with a menacing metallic sound, not that it's particularly intimidating to me. Of course, Skaki has to be aware her threat is as hollow as well. Expect she's unsheathing her blade mostly as a means to concentrate her hostility rather than in the expectation it will make an effective weapon.
笑い物にするつもりだったのね。
Don't jump to conclusions.
他にどんな理由があるというの？
Once you got that crepe and started eating it, I thought I might get to see you smile happily for once. Simple as that.
Sable.
Yeah, I forgot I made a save for the fucking tailing thing, even though that doesn't fucking matter at all. Skaki?
何それ？本当にそんなものが見たかったの？
Well, I am a little interested, yes.
ふん。
Skaki's only reaction to my statement is a disinterested grunt.
でも、失礼なことをしたのに変わりはないわね。
Well, if it seemed that way to you, then I can't argue. Sorry about that.
いいわ。罰としてさっきの話、その幻想を粉々にしてあげる。
Say what?
Why is she making these noises? Someone stop her.
Because she's probably eating a crepe right now. I'm really not sure how to respond to that question.
Stop her.
This was the punishment handed down to me. I'm required to watch intently as Skaki eats her crepe. Apparently, Skaki plans to use this opportunity to crush my expectation that eating something sweet would prompt her to smile. Of course, this involved sending me into the creperie to buy Skaki her treat. I have a nagging suspicion that may have been the main point of this exercise. That said, I don't think I've ever seen anyone eat a dessert quite this expressionlessly before. She's so obviously doing it on purpose out of sheer stubbornness that it's taking a conscious effort to keep my amusement from showing on my face.
おいしいわね。
Skaki speaks triumphantly, an expression of superior scorn spreading across her face.
どう？こんなものよ。面白くないでしょ？
Well, I have to say I was surprised.
そんなにありえない幻想に期待していたの？
Guess so. Her face is tense with concentration as Skaki earnestly devours her treat. To be honest, it looks a bit dirty. Oh, with the whipped cream and all. Well, there's no point making things even more troublesome, so I'll keep that thought to myself. Skaki blissfully obvious to my perspective on the matter, crunches and munches loudly away at her crepe.
以上が私どもの調査員による榊由美子さんについての報告です。
Where the fuck are we here? Oh, we're at Asshole's place. Why's JB here?
ファーストコンタクトにおいて若干の拒絶反応はあったものの、その後は調査員とも比較的良好な関係が築けており、今後も調査を
もういい。
はい。
春寺さんでしたか。とりあえずあの親不孝者の動向は承知した。
そうですか。 では私はこれで。
待ちたまえ。
まだ何か？
どうも私の言っていることがそちらさんにはきちんと伝わっていなかったようだ。いいかね。そもそも私があなた方に頼んだのはうちの娘の単なる素行調査などではない。
と申しますと？
あのようなバカでかい収容施設、娘や他の問題児どもを安穏と生活させるために作ったとでもお思いか。警察沙汰寸前のバカ騒ぎをやらかした愚を反省し、一刻も早く真っ当な人間に戻って我が盗品グループの一員となる準備をしてもらわないといかんのだ。なのにあなたの報告によると、連中はのんびりと共同生活を送り、当の由美子も一向に反省する気配すら見られん。もはやこれ以上猶予を与えるつもりはない。そのためにはあなた方の送り込んだ調査員、名前は何と言いましたかな？
風見裕二です。社長、念のために申し上げますが、風見は単なる調査員ではなく、あくまでも学生でありつつ、その一方で。
そうそう、その風見何がしという男を送り込んだ以上、こちらの思惑通りになるよう取り計らっていただか。由美子が自ら更生し、私の言うことを素直に聞いて実家に戻るよう心変わりをさせるためにな。
何か勘違いをされていらっしゃるかもしれませんが、私どもの組織はカウンセリングや洗脳を生りとしているわけではありません。無論作戦行動でそういうことを行うこともありますが、さすがに榊家のご令嬢とはいえ、国の資産をそこまで自己都合で動かすわけには。
春寺さん、いいかね。これは一般家庭の親子喧嘩ではない。100年にわたってこの国を支えてきた盗品グループの礎を速やかに時代へ移行するため必要不可欠なことなのだよ。そのために少しばかりそちらの余力を割いてもらっても罰は当たらないだろう。こちらの納めている税金と、そしていくらかの心づけのおかげでどれだけそちらの組織が動きやすくなっているか、春寺さんほどの人間ならわからないわけでもあるまい。
私どもの組織に榊社長のお心遣いを知らぬ者は下っ端を除いて一人もおりません。
わかっているじゃないか。では早速だが、由美子を改心させるための何か妙案はないかね？
そう急に言われましても。
そうだ、こういうのはどうだろう。こちらで仕組んでおいた連中に由美子を襲わせておいて、もはや安穏とした生活は送れないという危機感を与えるというのは、存分に恐怖を味わわせた後ならば私の言うことも少しは聞くようになるだろう。どうだね、いい手だと思わないか？どうした？不満かね？
いえ、その作戦に従います。その上で一つ提案があるのですが。
提案だと？
はい、私どもの調査員である風見裕二、彼にお嬢様の護衛をさせたいと考えております。
何を言っている。それでは自作自演で危機に陥らせることにならないだろ
う。お言葉ですが、何もない状態でただお嬢様を襲わせたのでは、そこまで強い危機感を与えることはできません。ですが、一度彼に護衛をさせた上で危機に陥ることとなれば。
なるほど、危機感はより一層強く植え付けられると。
はい、
いいだろう。その件については春寺さんに一任する。
はい、では失礼いたします。
There's no such thing as a fun job. Of course, you'll find plenty of people willing to declare that work brings them nothing but joy, but look around them or underneath them, and you'll always find scowling people covered in mud. More often than not, the person who loves their job is really just the biggest slacker in the office. Work is unpleasant and often boring. That's why they pay you to do it. something you were doing in the first place just naturally becomes your job, you're either a genius, an idiot, or incredibly lucky.
ねえお兄ちゃん
What?
お兄ちゃんの仕事って一体何なのよさ
My nose is starting to get stuffed again.
Alright.
Yeah.
Sound like my mum has got a cold.
Unfortunately, I'm none of the above. By most standards, my occupation is just about the last thing you can describe as fun. It requires steady, vigorous discipline. There's no tolerance for failure, and even in success, you'll never see the spotlight. On top of it all, it demands specialist expertise, extensive experience, and training even when off duty. It's a little hard to summarize, but I guess you could call it a craftsman of sorts.
職人寿司とか握ったり扇の金具作ったりするのに似てんのか
Well, I guess those would be the typical examples, but craftsman is a pretty vague term. It's quite a range of people who fall under that umbrella. Although you tend to think of those working with material objects, as in Makina's example, there are some who are engaged in more abstract forms of workmanship. And craftsman in my line of work, the craftsman in my line of work deals in the most formless thing of all. Anyways, what's with all this sudden interest in my job after all this time? Hardly that interesting a subject.
そんなのここにいる全員が気になってることなのよさ
That a fact.
マキちゃんの言う通りですね。だよね。
Not that I'm constantly acting, but I have been trying to keep my behavior fairly normal so as to avoid projecting the atmosphere characteristic of my occupation. Even so, it seems there's a degree of stiff artificiality to my performance that may have an equally unsettling effect on my classmates. A deeply regrettable failure on my part.
そうよそうよ。ユージってばほんと何者なのかよくわかんないのよね。なんか難しい言葉とか平気で使うし、何十キロと走った後でもケロッとしてるし、私のことすぐバカにするし。
I mean, it would be weird if he didn't make fun of you, considering everyone else at the dorm.
みちる様、お言葉ではありますが、最後の一つにつきましては、風見さんの得意性を示すことではないように思われます。そんなことないわよ。だってこいつ、私のことすぐにバカだとか、今までに見たことのない生物とか、少しは言葉を選べってぐらいにも。まあ、みちるに関してのユージの指摘は残念ながら正当よね。あまねまで何よこの五臓六腑っぷり
What?
It's too
指
brutal.
名
Yeah,
不
no.
足ですみちる様
It is.
残念ですが少しお静かになさった方がいいかと思われます。
まあまあそう言葉失うなよなほらバナナやるから食っとけ何よそれマキナまでバカにしてんのバナナってなんでよ私の髪が黄色だからバナナ好きとでも言うの
髪の色が黄色だからバナナが好きだという説とて
Oh,
も
great.
斬
The
新で
Mark
す。
on Minion.
この小峰幸みちる様についてきてよかったと心から思いました。
You don't have to kill her like that.
ついてきた意志があるのならもうちょっとフォローしてよウッキー
ウキーすごい完璧ですみちる様。
So, are you guys done asking me questions now? In many cases, since my arrival at the school when I was grateful to meet you, but our ability to rapidly derail conversations is truly welcome at times like these. Much as I'm about to wrap things up and make my Leo's cell phone rings in my pocket. Unfortunate timing! Slide it out and check the call or ID panel. JB, huh? Most contact from a JB in any form means a business discussion. Accordingly, I'm always careful not to answer her calls when the others are in earshot. Leave the dorm and walk a few paces before hitting the answer button and bringing the phone to my ear. It's me. I'll have better luck finding the proverbial free lunch than a job that's genuinely fun, and mine is certainly no exception to the rule. When you live in a communal residence, you're always going to find some people who hit it off with and some who are harder to handle. I just cleaned my fucking glasses, and in the process of cleaning in, the fucking, what's the English word for like the thing that rests on your ears?
What?
On your glasses? I've no idea what the technical term is.
Either way, it opened up and pinched a hair from my stomach and pulled it out when I tried to put my glasses back on.
Oh.
Ow!
Yeah, I'm a very hairy fella.
Well, I know that pain.
I'm not going to be the one to compare you to a Sasquatch.
You don't need to. The doctors made jokes about me being a monkey when I was born. Because I came out hairy, apparently.
Wow. So cruel.
Yeah. Yes. Ideally, you find points of compromise and stay on cordial terms even with the difficult residents. One of those underappreciated little skills that gets you ahead in life. Unfortunately, I don't possess it. In this dorm, I guess Amine would be the first on the list in terms of friendliness, although in her case, it's less hitting it off and more hitting on. Next in line would be Sachi, but she's got some abnormal quirks that can be tricky to handle, so her rank falls slightly. Maki and Michiro have a hard time even holding coherent conversations, making it a little hard to evaluate if we think in similar ways. But if I humor them with a little attention, they'll start chattering away all on their own, so in a sense, they're easy enough to deal with. Might not be blessed with much in the way of social skills, but even I can interact with those four without particular difficulty. This girl, however, is a different story. They were on seriously hostile footing from the very start, and our frequent chance encounters in the dorm haven't really helped. There's still a sense of tension in the air when we run into each other. Granted, that's a bit of an improvement compared to the way she used to slash at me with a box cutter on sight, but her attitudes remained stubbornly standoffish. There was no sign of a real thaw in relations.
誰もいないのかしら
Looking around the area in a slightly forced way, Sakaki mutters those words without particularly directing them at me. Amon is out shopping with Makina, said they'll be back this evening. The principal called Sachi to run an errand for the school. Haven't seen Michiro all day. When I answered, she glanced at my face for a brief moment.
そうなの
Conversation dies there. Sakaki once again begins moving her eyes across the pages of a novel I'm sure she's already finished reading. We may not talk much, but I've learned enough about Sakaki over the last few months to say that we've got a surprising amount in common. We both enjoy reading and don't mind spending time alone. We're both prone to mull things over in languid sky-gazing sessions on rooftops. But similarity doesn't have much to do with hitting it off with someone. When it's two similarly unsociable types like us, it's easy for conversations to stagnate awkwardly. Asymmetrical interactions where people complement each other through contrast actually make for a much more harmonious atmosphere. Every once in a while, Skaki's eyes flick up off the page to shoot a quick glance in my direction. Might sound like a girl in love trying to secretly keep an eye on her crush, but the reality is less idyllic. She seems to be trying to figure out how to extricate herself from this awkward situation. Although Skaki is clearly bothered by the heavy silence in the air, I don't find it that uncomfortable. After piling the 4 books I brought from my room on the table, I lean back on one elbow and begin to work my way through the first. Probably be more considerate for me to take the initiative and leave, but owing to certain circumstances, that's not going to happen this time.
失礼
Apparently reaching the limits of her endurance, Kaki abruptly drops her book onto the coffee table and stands up. Before I can even react, she turns to 3 o'clock and starts to walk away. Looking up from my book, I call out a question before she can make her getaway. You going somewhere? Skaki's progress pauses, but after a moment she walks off without so much as turning around. Slippers squeak against the hallway floor with an orderly rhythm reminiscent of a soldier on the march. Alright then. Slam my book shut, I quietly rise from my seat and begin to walk off in the same direction. With a steady regular gait, it's just like Sagaki is following in her footsteps. You want me to play bodyguard?
そう榊由美子さんのね知ってるでしょ
Familiar with the name and face, other than that, my information is pretty limited.
そうなんだで きりいろいろと知ってるもんだと思ってたけど。
I have no idea what you're trying to imply, but she's just a classmate, and we're not particularly close.
じゃあ少しは知ってもらわないといけないかもね。はい、これ資料。
JB picks up a thick file from the desk and passed it to me. It contained a bulky bundle of A4-sized documents. The first page had a photograph of Skaki's face, along with some simple bullet points concerning her background. It did receive a very basic overview of the girl's personal circumstances when her father visited the school. At a glance, these pages don't contain much beyond what I'd already heard from the principal. But the fact that we had a file on her in the first place reinforced my impression of Skaki's importance. See, with a background like this, I suppose a bodyguard or two might be warranted.
そうなのよね。あなたにとっては普通のクラスメイトでも、実際問題としてあの子を取り巻く問題はいろいろと複雑なの。
So it would seem.
彼女は盗品グループのトップの一人娘としていろんなところから目をつけられているわ。特に彼女は一人でいることを好むみたいだし、略取の危険性は常に考えるべきね。
Makes sense so far, but you want me to protect her by myself?
大げさなのは彼女自身も嫌うでしょうし、そんじょそこらの SP を大勢連れてきたところでユージ一人にもかなわないでしょ。
Don't overestimate me too much. I'll end up biting you in the ass. It'll end up biting you in the ass.
本日一蓋〇〇より風見ユージは同任務に就くように。妨害があった場合は実力でこれを排除せよ。
Understood. The reason I've begun poking my nose at Skaki's life is the point of following her around. It's not a manifestation of any personal feelings on my part, but the result of a perfectly legitimate order handed down from me to me in a professional capacity. Since I've been employed in this role, I fully intend to approach it seriously. In my line of work, your orders have absolute priority, even when a job happens to involve a close friend or relative. And protecting a classmate from approaching threats is something I do without being asked. But I didn't have any real reason to refute this particular position. Through this rather abrupt sequence of events, I assumed the role of Skaki Yumiko's bodyguard, without her knowledge. However, although I'd anticipated as much from the start, the mission in question quickly encountered a number of practical difficulties. Yeah, where are you off to?
あなた、最近よくその質問をするわね。
Have I?
ともかく、私がどこへ行こうとあなたに関係のあることじゃないわ。それじゃあ、そこに立たれると、私が外に行けないんだけど。
Yeah, so we had it again. Didn't catch it the first time.
しつこいわね。どこへ行こうとあなたに関係のあることじゃないでしょ。分かったらそこをどいてくれないかしら。
Why? Going somewhere in a hurry?
駅前、古本屋に行って前に気になってた本を買おうと思ってるの。署名はロシア民族楽器の歴史、筆者は小室重生。これで満足かしら。
That's so. Good to know. Alright, you're free to go.
だからあなたに関係もないし許可をもらうようなことじゃないって言ってるでしょ。
Okay then, let's go.
またあなたなの。
Why the again? Not like we can run across each other that often.
偶然かもしれないけど、あなたと二人きりで顔を合わせるケースがここのところ増えている気がするんだけど。
Just imagination. By the way, you added anyone in particular?
どこだっていいでしょ。
I don't think he's very good at being a subtle bodyguard.
Yeah, he's terrible.
No.
Like, if he just had to fucking tail her, he'd probably be successful. But the fact that he has to, like, protect her body...
Yeah.
makes it so he can't be that subtle about it.
Yeah.
Since if he tails her from a safe distance, he might be too late on approaching.
Yeah.
Oh, something you can't tell me about. Everything alright?
She's gonna think he's
無視
into
し
her.
て立ち去ろうとしたのに回り込まないでくれる。
I imagine that's how it's gonna start.
Well, you didn't answer the question. Pretty rude.
あなた、私の態度を見て事情を察するとかそういうこともできないの？
Those circumstances are what I'm asking about. If there's some kind of problem...
トイレよ。
I don't know why on earth they had to censor the fact that she was on a bathroom break at that point, but oh well.
I don't know either.
なんで私が説明も何もしないかお分かりになったかしら
Yeah, I believe I have a solid grasp of the situation. My apologies. Enjoy your trip. She'll be on guard. Well, not you can blame her. From the moment I began putting my instructions into practice, Kaki's gotten a great deal more wary around me. The reason, of course, is my abrupt intrusion into her bubble of isolation. It's entirely understandable when someone who hasn't demonstrated much interest in you suddenly develops an acute interest in your movements. Anybody would get a little suspicious. But since I'm acting on orders here, retreating outside of her comfort zone is an option.
じゃあこれは購入しますね。買い占めです。
あっちゃー、マジか。サッチンそこ入ったらぶっちぎりじゃねえの。
サーチ鉄道買い占めるの？ねえ、そこ押さえられちゃったら私マジ破産するんだって。やばいんだって。みちる様のお気持ちは痛いほどわかります。この路線を抑えることによってみちる様は文字通り手も足も出なくなり、サイコロを振っては私に搾取される人生が待ち受けているのですから。でも仕方ないのです。これはゲームです。私が手加減することでみちる様の緊張をそぎ、ゲームが至極くだらないものに貶められてしまいます。お分かりですか？これはみちる様のためを思ってやっていることなのです。今は辛くともひたすら耐えるのです。あんた、その気持ちよくなるまで耐えなさいっていう S 嬢みたいな口調、どこで覚えてきたのよ。つか、耐えるも何も私そこ抑えられたらゲーム終了なんだけどねえ。買い占めます。ギャー!
After returning from class, I was immediately invited to participate in playing a board game with Makinos. Not that I was given much choice on the matter. It's based off a similar dice movement game. Depending on the square you land on, there are options of purchase stocks or property. And with development, you can extract rent on others who pass through. That's the basic outline anyway. Makina seemed pretty confident she'd win, but once we actually got started, Sachi picked up strategy with fearsome speed. She's been slowly squeezing the cash out of us like juice from a grapefruit.
Dear God, they're playing Monopoly.
We had for a while a 1930s copy of Monopoly.
Dear God, that shit was probably still made of asbestos.
Wasn't that bad.
Why don't you just sell those stocks you've been ordering away so stubbornly? They're only slowing you down.
これは金のなる木なの。ゲームが終わった時にこの株があることによって振ったお金で順位が逆転するかもしれないんだから。あ、この鉄道の買い占めでみちる様の株は全滅ですね。暴落して紙くずです。
In particular, Michi has been economically annihilated on a scale that reminds me of the old Soviet Union's downfall. Guess her luck's just terrible, but it seems like every time the girl makes a move, she ends up falling into a trap of Sachi's and forking over her liquid cash. This game we're taking place in a mahjong.
Without the alcoholism of Boris Yeltsin, but we'll pass on that for now.
If this game were taking place in a mahjong salon or something, I'd be seriously wondering about weighted dice at this point. The point, you don't point out a mahjong salon if you're gonna use the weighted dice metaphor. Dice have nothing to do with mahjong. At least say like CeeLo or something.
Yeah.
That's still like a fucking like a type of game that is often seen in like gambling salons in Japan.
I was about to say games of uckers in game parlors we have in Britain.
Actually, what is that? Actually, what, is there like a
for the implication that mahjong parlors have a lot of cheaters? I think that's his implication.
Yeah. I don't think there is a variant of mahjong with dice, though, is there?
There is not. No, no, none at all. There are only two variants of Mahjong, one being Richi Mahjong and the other being the Mahjong you probably know from your parents playing it on the laptop when you were young. Apparently the English title is still called CeeLo. Oh well.
もういいのよ。あとはみんなせいぜい長生きして、私の人生はもう終わった。これでまた私が勝ってしまうようですね。
なんとかサッチーの資産削りたいけど、片っ端から貢ぐおバカのせいで焼け石に水になっちゃうのよさ。
私の株、私の。
The outcome of the battle's already been decided. Just give in. In that moment, just as we all stood on the brink of agonizing resistance against our dominant foe, abandoning resistance against our dominant foe, Sagaki strides quietly out of the front door without so much a glance in our direction. I'm going out for a while.
ちょっとお兄ちゃん、ゲームの途中よ。
Yeah, I just remembered something I have to do for work. Sorry to skip out early. You three finished the game without me, alright.
That is subtle as a heart attack.
お兄ちゃんの分はどうするのよ。
How about one of you take over my position? It'll be a good exercise in parallel processing, right? Anyway, see you later.
テレビゲームやってんじゃないのよさ。スイッチ一つでコム担当に切り替えられる感覚で後を任されても困るっての。
仕事じゃ仕方ないよね。マキちゃん、ここは私の勝ちということで穏便に済ませて。株
Of
が
course, you would.
ただいまーって、あれ、ユージ今出てったけどどっか出かけ？
女のケツを追っかけてどっかへ行ったのよさ。
女？誰よそれ。
肉のついてなさそうなケツなのよさ。
榊さんのこと？あんた気をつけないと本人の前で言ったらめんどくさいわよそれ。榊さんが寮を出てすぐに理由も言わずに風見さんもすぐに出て行かれまして。ユージはあんな骨っぽいお尻の方が好きなのかな。にしても最近ユージの榊さんへの構え方が尋常じゃないよね。そうですね。会うたびにどこへ行くのか気になさっているご様子ですし。
こないだは便所行く時まで質問されてユミちゃんキレキレだったのよさ。
ことがユージだけにそう見えにくいけど、これってはっきり言ってストーカーよね。ああやってもダメ。こうやっても。で、なんでミチルは廃人になってるわけ？
She's always moaning like an invalid. That's her basic fucking mode in life. Talking to herself softly, Skaki picks her way through a shelf of art supplies. Her outing to the station area was evidently an extremely minor errand. Seemed like she's just replenishing her stock of artistic materials. Mishima Cape gets a fair amount of traffic, but it's still a small city. There are plenty of inconspicuous blind spots and back alleys where threats could be lurking. I keep a diligent eye on Skaki from behind, checking for suspicious characters among other customers and watching for any vans nearby that might be used for a grab and run as she leaves.
暗くなってきたわね。
After killing a little time rummaging around in an unused bookstore, Skaki glances up at the dark purple sky and makes her way out of the store, slipping her newly purchased paper bag into the paper bag and with the paper back into the paper bag. With her art supplies, she sets off on the road back to the school with the same steady pace as always. Following from a distance, I jot down a few quick notes on today's events in a pocket-sized memo book. Abnormalities of the subject vicinity is none worth noting, I guess. Today in particular, everything seemed reassuringly normal.
はい、じゃあ今日はここまでにします。 日直の人は教室の鍵かけて持ってきてくださいね。
終わり終わり。マキナ、今日はこのまま買い物するからちょっと手伝って。
わかった。でもトイレットペーパーは指んとこ痛くなるから、あれはアマネが持つんだぞ。な。
そういやサチ、ランドリーの中に入ってた洗濯物出しておいてくれたのってあんた？
はい、みちる様が下着が多数散乱する洗濯物を不用心にも残しておいででしたので、すべて回収して整頓いたしましたが、それが
お礼言わなきゃいけないはずなんだけど、なんか素直に言いたくなくなるわね。
気をつけなさいよね、みちる。一応寮も女女体じゃなくなったんだからさ。
わかってるわよ。だから
先に失礼するわ。
Excuse me, everyone. Alright, see you later.
Knowing you, Beast, I'm surprised it hasn't chased after Chizuru at this point.
Listen, I was thinking, is there a line I could use from the things Chizuru said? But nah, there wasn't anything. Anything, at least nothing that's just plain boring and uninspired.
またしても尾行開始なのよさ。
これで4日連続よね。放課後の尾行プレイ。
なんかいやらしい響きよね。放課後とかプレイとか。
それはみちる様の心にいかがわしい妄想があるからかと思います。
ちょっと何よそれ。思ってないわよ。ちょっと想像しただけよ。
しとるがな。それはともかくここまでになると単なる興味とかそういう範疇を超えちゃってるよね。
あの無機質感漂う女をどういう理由で追い回してるのか気になるのよさ。
質問しちゃえばいいんじゃないの？ユージに
あさみさんが答えるとは思いませんが。だよね。ユージって嘘は言わないけど、言わないって決めたことは絶対に言ってくれなさそう。
うわ
でも気になるわね。何考えてんのよあいつ。引きなし理由もなくストーカーとかわけわかんないわよ。しかも相手がユミコとかさ。
みちる様、あまり考えると脳が熱くなってしまいますよ。考えるときは少しずつ量を調整して考えないとオーバーヒートしてしまいます。
人の脳みそを安物の工作機械みたいに言うんじゃないわよ。
まあでも気になりだしたら他のこと手につかないわよね。でもそれを知る手段もないわけだし。
だったら調査するしかないのよさ。
調査するの？
ってどうやってやるのよそんなの。
本人に聞くのが無理なんだったら情報を集めて推測するしかないのよさ。つうわけであまね、鍵貸して。
ってあんた、ユージの部屋を物色するつもり？
さすがにそれはやばいんじゃないの？
Like, a few minutes later, all of them in the room, just staring at the same thing, like... So that's a gun, right? Yeah, sure looks like one. Like a big one as well, huh? Yeah. Probably a sniper rifle. Looks like it's been recently used. Oh no. Oh no. Well, we will take what we found today to the grave, or we will be actually going to the grave.
いいじゃん。お兄ちゃんのことだからやばっちい理由だったら部屋に証拠とか残さないだろうし、別に見られたって死ぬようなもんじゃないってなあさっち。
はい、じゃあ早速今日の夜にでも調査に入るということで。うわー、知らないわよ。
私は関係ないからね。何も言ってないからね。
さっち、分かっているとは思うが、貴様は今から私の指揮下に入る。呼ぶときは隊長だ。さあ。前もって言っていたブツの準備はさあ。
指紋を残さないように手袋も万全です。洗ルーメンの蛍光ライトも用意しました。
よし、
では調査を開始する。さあ、相変わらず殺風景な部屋なのよさ。
物がないだけに散らかってもないですね。どこから手をつけましょうか、隊長。
I imagine that he's just sitting on the bed like, what the fuck are they doing this time? Oh well, let's just let them play it out and just lays down.
さすがに引き出し開けられてガサガサまでやられるとお兄ちゃんも怒るのよさ。ひとまずは目につくあたりから物色するのよ。さあ、
何もないですね、隊長。
もう何もそれっぽいものは見当たらないな。
机の上もゴミ箱もベッドの下も探しましたが、
Fucking chocolate from Necopara just gunning people down.
ゆみちゃん似の AV 女優でも見つかりゃあまねえの反応が楽しみだろうけど、そういう面白いネタも皆無なのよさ。
やっぱり風見さんに聞くしかないのでしょうか。
ひとまずそろそろ帰るのよさ。お兄ちゃんが帰ってきたらややこしいし、こういう調査には引き際が大事なのよ。
あれ、隊長、今踏んだのは。
なんだこれ、手帳。
隊長？
見つけたのよさ。 で、ユージの手帳に書いてあったことを全部マキナがその場で記憶して PC で打ち直したのがこれってわけね。さすがに持ってくるわけにはいかなかったからな。
だからって覚えられるマキちゃんはすごいです。
お疲れ様って言っていいのかちょっと疑問だけどね。つかあんたさ、本当にこれ以外で妙なことしてないでしょうね。合鍵貸したの私なんだからさ。早く読めよ。すっげえこと書いてあんぜ。話聞け。で、みちる、あんたはあんたで早速読みふけってるわけ？調査するって話になった時あんな否定的だったのに。ってみちる？何これ？どれ貸してみ。何7月18日、天気明朗なれども波高し、休日ゆえに通りに一般人多数、特に目立った事件なしって、これがどうかした？
問題はそこから先なんです、あまねさん。
その後よ。続き？榊由美子の同行。14時28分、寮の自室を出る。入り口付近で問答の後外出。って、これ、まさかそのまさかなのよさ。
はい。手帳に書かれていたのは、風見さんが榊さんの追跡をした、その記録だったんです。
とりあえず続き読むわね。7月19日20時12分、寮の自室より外出。人目につかないように裏道を通りコンビニへ向かう。雑誌コーナーの年齢制限のある場所へ赴くも、4分強立ち尽くした後にため息を一つつき、安っぽいプリンを一つ購入して帰宅。寮の付近でスプーンの入れ忘れに気づき、一人店員に憤る。7月20日17時44分、学内を徘徊し、3階の廊下で突如として鼻歌を歌い出すも、10秒ほどで周囲を気にして中断。注意深く周囲を見回し、誰もいないことを確認した後、先ほどよりも大きめの音量で鼻歌を再開。18時34分、妙に疲弊した表情で帰宅。7月21日18時18分、駅前の古書店にてワゴンセールの古本を物色。
26分後、隣の画材屋に移動して色鉛筆を棚から出し、うち
7月22日7時54分。突如それまでいた寮のロビーを退出。外出理由を問うも回答せずに逃亡したので追う。来客用の便所の方へ向かったことを確認。理由は商用を足すことと時間より推測。
You don't need to like fucking
specify
the goddamn hypothesis for what you did on the toilet.
ものすごい細かいわね。ほぼ毎日のように後をつけてどこへ行くか質問をし、その結果を記録。つーかこれつまりストーカーですよね。ユージが
意外な結末が待っていたのよさ。
興味深い話ね。
うわユミコ。
人を飼うみたいに言わないでちょうだい。で、このメモ、元は風見くんが書いたものに間違いはないのね。
そうよ、そうです。部屋に侵入して手帳から写したものだから間違いないのよさ。
他の人が書いたとは思えませんでしたね。
そう。なら仕方ないわね。よくもまあ、こんなに詳細に。しかも、誰もいないって思ってた時までは、鼻歌も、プリンも。これ、いただいていくけど、よろしいかしら？
どうぞ。
許せない。風見雄二。
どどどどどどど。
やばいって。どうすんのよこれ。榊さん、わかりやすく殺す目をしてましたね。まあでもユージがここまでやってたからには本人から説明してもらわないとどうしようもない。
She can have all the bloody murder in her eyes she wants to if she can't fucking do anything.
ぶっちゃけ引いたな。はっきり言うわね。まあでも確かにちょっとそうだけど、ユージにあんな性癖があったなんて知らなかったし。
Hold on, I just got a message. I need to see the fucking context. Ah, okay. I texted someone that I know very well, and both of us play Honkai, and I told him that I got Aventurine on my first 10 pull. So that's the context of Zesty Gambler will treat you well. I mean, I hate the guy with a fucking passion, but I can't deny that he's a fucking busted-ass unit. Like, especially in a full follow-up team composition.
You put him in there with Clara, it's fucking crazy.
With you?
Clara and Svarog?
Oh, you mean Clara?
Yes, Clara and Svarog. Svarog, my beloved.
I don't actually have Clara yet. I don't know if I'll even get her if I get the free thing, considering that, like, I need, like, as much as I would murder to protect, from a gameplay status, I have roles that need to be fulfilled, and don't really need those roles. Like, sadly, Yunli does fill the exact same niche.
Nah, you're missing out. I love Svarog.
Like, I love Clara and all. Like, I would, like I said, murder to protect. But, like, even more so, I now have a team of March 7th, the imaginary one, Fei Zhao,
Ooh.
and Aventurine.
You got the athletic foxwoman?
Yes, I have best girl.
Now that, I don't know about that.
Oh, I know about it, though. That's all that matters. But yeah, literally, like, especially, like, I honestly, if I ever hear that Fei Zhao gets a rerun, I will save up in an attempt to get C2. Because C2 Fei Zhao gets like the ability that she gets with E2 with Eidolon 2 is that not only do her own attacks fill up her ultimate gauge, every follow-up attack an ally makes also fills it up by 1 blip. So when you have a team with all follow-up people, she builds ult like a motherfucker. Like, especially the fucking, like, you know what Imaginary March 7th does, right?
Yeah.
Get good. Like, I do also have, like, a very advanced Mosaic that I could use, but I'm not sure about him, honestly. Like, I feel like
Not sure
there
about
is
him
a
either.
better option that I could probably go for. Like, I'm even, like, debating not using Yunli on that team, because as good as Yunli is, she doesn't use her follow-up attacks often enough, you know? Like, I will say Clara does have one advantage over Yunli, namely that she has better aggro control than Yunli.
Yeah, Clara makes sure that they're focused on him.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets that damage reduction, which is so nice.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, back to this.
Yeah,
私
you lost,
知らな
you
いから
lost
ね
a lot of
大
ground.
惨事になっても知らないからみちるもビビりねしかしなんでユージはこんなことしたんだろう恋愛感情なのでしょうか普通はそうよねでもあのユージだしもし本当に好きになったんならもっと直接的な行動に出ると思うんだけどね
Ignore the sounds of people sending me pictures.
お兄ちゃんならさっくり襲いかかっても不思議じゃないと思うのよさ
That is one, like, fucking artistic swimmer, whatever it's you fucking call that for the Olympics, Yunaka, and oh no, Raifu with a knifeu. And I do mean a Raifu, not waifu, because it's girls' frontline. They're all guns.
さっくり言うなそうねユージだったら普通に面と向かって言うと思うのよね好きそれもそうですよねまあ今はとりあえず青鬼さんから厳しい尋問を受けている頃だろうしその結果を見守るっきゃないわよね
理由説明していただけるかしら
Bursting onto the rooftop, Skaki strides up to me with a look of pure fury on her face, then hurls a bundle of paper in my general direction. Putting that aside for a moment, can you retract that blade before we talk? And in her left hand, the girl's holding her fully extended box cutter. Her knuckles are wide even from a few meters away. I can see her hand trembling.
それはあなたの答え次第ねいいから説明してちょうだい
Adeptus Machina, Sachi.
そんなことどうだっていいでしょ私が聞きたいのはどうしてこんなストーカーみたいなことをあなたがしたのかって聞いているのよ
I had stowed the documents from JB about Skaki's personal data inside a securely locked drawer. It's not much risk they found those, but my notes on Skaki's movements didn't contain anything problematic from a professional perspective, so I wasn't nearly as careful with them. Obviously a serious mistake. I had to punish the trespassers later, but at the moment there's a more immediate problem to deal with.
ねえどうなのちゃんと答えなさい
It's pretty simple. I was asked to guard you, that's all. The rage on Sakaki's face instantly changes to utter confusion. Not waiting for her to process the remark, and continue my explanation. Your father, Sakaki Michiaki, contacted my employer after determining that your personal safety was at risk. They made arrangement for your protection. I've been assigned to the job, so knowing where you are at all times is my responsibility. I'll apologize if you found it disturbing. Sakaki's sharp glare falters. Her eyes drop to the ground at her feet. Gripping her knife even more firmly than before, she mutters something too quietly for me to hear. Sakaki. Gradually, her voice grows louder until at last a few words squeeze her way out of her mouth.
必要ない
Say what? Sakaki's eyes flash up to meet mine once more.
必要ないわ 父が何を言ったかわからないけど、護衛なんかいらない。
You're the daughter of the East Beach Group's president. That places you in a dangerous position if you keep walking around without any security eventually.
何か起こったのなら、それはそれでいいわ。私が死ぬだけなんでしょ。どうせ。
What?
死ねばいいのよ。いっそ。
You can still see the anger on Skaki's face, but it's changed. There's a hint of something reckless and indifferent in her expression. Some like resignation.
別にこんな体、守ったところで何もないんだから。とにかく、今日限りでそんなことはやめてちょうだい。
With those words, Skaki turns and leaves the roof. What the hell was that about? I can understand that having someone following you around would be unpleasant, but the reason Skaki refused my protection doesn't seem to have much to do with that. The woman talks like she's completely disinterested in her own safety. Of course, I was ordered to protect her, so I'm going to continue doing so, but it's unsettling to hear her talk like that. Left a bad taste in my mouth. Documents I was given on Skaki Yumiko contain extensive information on her current situation. There was practically nothing concerning her past or that of the East Beach Group. This borderline self-destructive attitude clearly didn't come from nowhere. Just don't have enough information to make sense of it. For now, the only thing I can do is take care of the job I was assigned. Can't say if this applies to more typical student dormitories, but in this place there isn't that dramatic a difference in that between the school days and vacation days. The residents wear casual clothes instead of school uniforms, that's about it. Days off aren't really that much of an upper, and weekdays aren't that strong a downer. The energy levels around here appear to stay pretty much constant. Amina's always doing her best dog and heat impression. Makina's constantly babbling away in dubious Japanese. Sachi never fails to offer perfect service with a superficially polite smile. And Michiro, of course, is an idiot 24/7. Likewise, this woman's expression don't change much no matter what the calendar reads. Gazing at the clouds outside the window, she reaches tentatively towards an umbrella, then hesitates. After a moment, the pattern repeats itself. Eventually, she picks up the tote bag sitting at her side, shoots a few cautious glances around the area, and begins to ease open the front door as quietly as possible. Yo. Like, I imagine he's just, like, lightly touched the fucking hinge, and he's immediately behind her like, yo.
Just Spider-Man pose on the roof.
Not even that. Literally just like behind her, like arms behind his back, like some weird fucking fucked up horror movie butler, just leaning over her shoulder, like yo. Skaki twitches like a startled cat. Slowly, stiff, she turns to face me. Going out, I see. Just so you know, the weather won't turn bad until late tonight. Have a safe trip.
また、今日も後をついてくる気なの?
Despite my considerate umbrella-related tip, the woman's expression is now one of clear hostility. It's my job, after all.
結構だって言ったでしょ。あれほど言ったのにまだわからない。私には護衛なんて必要ないから。お願いだからついてこないで。
To be fair, you're not the one paying his fucking salary.
Yes. But if you don't do it, you don't get paid, so gotta do it.
Sorry, but whether you think it's necessary doesn't really matter. The objective evaluation was that you're in danger, and more importantly, I have orders from the main... And she's gone. Alright then, time to go, I guess.
これで3日連続ですね。どうやら有事の仕事が関係してるっぽいのは分かったけど、それにしてもあんだけ拒絶されても行かなきゃいけないって辛いよね。
めんどっちいよな。
でもどうしてボディーガードとかさせるんだろう。ユミコの周りってそんなに危険なこととかあったっけ？
I like that they don't even like are confused. Like, did he say he works for like a cleaning company? Why is he suddenly a bodyguard? Like, doesn't that get the gears turning?
Yeah.
For the two currently on screen, of course not. But for Amane and Sachi at least, like Sachi probably wouldn't comment on it because, like, you know, she's Sachi. But Amane would.
Agreed,
No.
She would comment on it because she's Sachi.
Yeah, because Sachi wouldn't want to fucking upset the balance. You know?
Yeah.
No, you're right. You're right. I just
Besides
thought it was
which-
funny.
Like,
Besides
it's...
which, as a service professional, she would be discreet. Isn't discretion the better part of valor?
Yes, exactly.
Who said that again?
No fucking clue, quite frankly.
Discretion is the better part of valor. I have Not got a clue. Traditional saying from somewhere.
I'm pretty sure it came from a knight or a king. I think it was an English king, or it might have been Shakespeare. Maybe someone.
First recorded proverb, synonym of look before you leap, first recorded in 1477. Here we are. Slight warping of the Shakespeare quote, the better part of valour is discretion, from Henry IV, part 1. There you go.
There we go.
Shakespeare. Damn,
お
I'm
嬢
pretty
様だ
fucking
って
good.
のはなんとなくは聞いてたけど。さあね、事情が変わったのかもしれないし、その辺は多分ユージも榊さんも教えてくれないだろうし、動向を見守る以外はないって感じでしょうか。そうね。まあ見守ってるうちにここで人情沙汰とか起きなきゃいいけど。みちる様、一人首をひねっていらっしゃいますが、ここで言う人情とは人の情けのことではなく、刃物で人を傷つけるの意味ですよ。わかってるわよ。そんなこと思ってなかったわよ。ちょっと何のことかわかんなかっただけよ。わかってへんがな。
The place where Sakaki spends her days off isn't far from the academy. Follow the footpath from our front gate until it turns to the south, then walk 300 meters or so along the prefectural road down to the sea, and you're there. There are a few obstacles and nothing in the way of blind spots, but it's not much of a challenge as an observer. Skarky's been shooting frequent looks over her shoulder in my direction ever since we left. I guess 60% of the reason is her hoping to find some opportunity to slip away and escape my surveillance. The other 40 are pure anger. As for the concern on behalf of her bodyguard, clearly not even a single percent. In fact, the day after I admitted the truth, Skanky tried to run away from me the moment she saw my face. The girl's only an amateur, so naturally it didn't take long for me to catch up. But since then, she's been constantly watching for another chance. Can't be too careless. Easy enough to catch up to her after she bolts, but there's always a possibility someone will attack her in the meantime. Far safer to constantly keep an eye on her.
よそ見すらしないのね。
I'm on the job after all. They cut my wages if I slack off. Skanky heaves another heavy sigh, then heads for her destination with a slightly quickened gait. Easily matching her pace, I follow in silence. After less than 10 minutes of walking, we arrive at the riverbank. The river's called the Shinozaki, a clever Class B river. It's a small Class B river that flows down to the coast of Mishima Cape. Since we're close to where it meets the sea, it's fairly wide here, with a moderately sized bank on either side. Not too far away, one of the Each beast, yes. Each beast. East Beach Express lines, owned by Zagalik's family, cuts across the water. Every 30 minutes or so, a 2-car diesel train rumbles across the iron bridge. Exhaling softly, Skaki lowers the tote bag in her hand to the grassy ground. She settles herself down next to it, retrieves colored pencils from inside, and then props her B4 size sketchbook against her knees. And looking straight out at the scenery before her, she begins intently moving her pencils across the paper. It's the CG!
The one that you fell in love with.
Yes, because of the wacky inflatable arm flailing Yuji.
Yes.
To be fair, this man is saying fuck gravity right now. Like, what is this man doing? I forgot I don't need to take screenshots here. Oh well, who cares?
Well.
It is what it is.
Yeah. If it weren't for Sakaki's face being a little bit of a scowl, it would make good publicity material for Mihama Academy.
Yeah, I suppose so. The only good is after becoming Sakaki's guard, but the reason she...
What the fuck is he leaning against?
Nothing! He's saying fuck gravity! We've already commented on this.
I'm sorry, but I only just now noticed. I thought he was leaning against something.
No, he isn't!
Wind.
Brother
The
is
only thing I can think of.
brother is leaning against his own fucking parent issues.
He's just fucking stanced up. Look at him.
He's
He's
got-
just stanced up.
Like if you look real closely, you can see him lean against the demons from his past.
Yeah.
I only
Got a
learned
lot of
this
them
after
lean on, so.
He's
becoming
leaning-
Sakaki's guard, but the reason she abruptly leaves the campus for hours at a time is a very simple one. She draws pictures. Maybe she didn't want her classmates to know about her hobby. Maybe there's some other reason. Either way, I'm just glad she isn't coming into contact with any strange characters. In that scenario, that would have been a lot of troublesome preliminary cleanup to take care of. But JB probably would have warned me if the girl was up to anything too risky. I'd never been that worried about her activities, in other words. More like mildly
ちょ
curious.
っと雲が少なくなって感じが変わったわね。
Kaki's approach to her heart is straightforward and orthodox. She begins by roughly sketching out the scene in general, and proceeds to fill in details little by little. She's not quite on the level of a dedicated art student, but judging from what I've seen of her work, the girl has a good amount of talent and skill. That said, I don't have much of an eye for art. I can tell she's good on a technical level, but I don't have many other impressions. Even if I did, expressing them would probably only irritate Sakaki further. Nice weather. I hang back far enough to not get in Sakaki's way. I look up into the sky, feeling the sun beating down on my face. Latter half of July is always pretty hot, especially in this area. Nice refreshing scenery and all, but it's not the most pleasant season. Drops of sweat, the blazing summer sun, a vibrant picture taking shape. Shake my head to dispel the shadowy wisps of memory floating to the surface of my mind, and return my attention to the subject of my surveillance. The sun sinks to the horizon as if sliding gently down the slope of a mountain. All of a sudden, the area is bathed in an orange light. Perhaps taking that as a signal of sorts, Kaki gathers up her material, stretches out her legs for the first time in hours, then slowly gets to her feet.
ね
And kicking lightly at the ground in her apparent irritation, she speaks to me.
え、あなたそうやってずっと立っているばかりで私には一切話しかけようとしないのね。
Did you want me to make conversation?
まさか。ただいつもはしつこいぐらいに私の行く先を尋ねるくせに、ここに来たら何も聞かないから不思議に思っただけよ。
Came here to draw. Once I'd confirmed that you weren't going anywhere, I didn't have any reason to bother you.
仕事で必要なことだけ聞いたということなのね。
That's right. Talking to your client more than necessary would be an expression of personal interest. When that's not relevant, bare facts are enough. What's wrong?
なんでもないわ。
Skaki turns her back in a somewhat grumpish fashion and hefts her tote bag onto the ground, then begins to walk off without so much as a word. Follow her quick, irritated stride at a similarly rapid pace. My investigation of Sakaki Yumiko's movements and protection of her person continued along those lines. Sakaki fundamentally ignored me. When she did talk, it was mostly hostile questions or arbitrary complaints. The atmosphere was badly strained, to say the least. And gradually, the complaints began to grow more frequent and more aggressive, culminating in an incident about 1 week later.
こうして毎日毎日あなたにつけ回されるのかと思うと一瞬も落ち着けないわ。
Today, Sakaki seemed even more irritable than usual. She was reading in the lobby from early in the morning, and before noon she headed out to sketch and deliver at the riverbank. In other words, the two of us have been alone together more or less all day. Seems to have grated on her nerves. Stopping her drawing in the early evening, as always, she gathered up her belongings more rapidly than usual, then stumped up to me and began to vent her spleen. Not to worry, I do have basic manners. I make sure to avert my eyes from any potentially shameful actions on your part.
そういうことを言うこと自体がマナー違反だってなぜわからないのかしら。
I've been intending to smooth things over, but it seems to have poured oil on the fire instead. This is something I've been vaguely aware of for a while now, but it seems I have a bad habit of enraging women over the strangest little things. All the more pathetic because it's usually the result of well-intentioned words backfiring rather than actual maliciousness on my part.
第一、あなたの言うその脅威って何なのかしら。
Well. About
the man is essentially a grunt for the organization. Like hell, they're gonna like explicitly tell you this is the threat. Like all he needs to know is this person, people want to have a go at her. Make them not.
こうして散々つきまとってよくわかったでしょ。私はすでに実家からも邪魔者扱いされた存在なの。今さら誰かが営利目的で近寄ってくることなどありえないわ。
From the start, Skaki had insisted that she didn't want protection, but now she tries a different objection. To be sure, I haven't picked up any concrete threats approaching Skaki in the week that I've been watching over her. It'd be too late to start protecting you after something happens. A bodyguard is a preventative measure. Not much good in installing a burglar alarm after someone's cleaned out your safe, right?
でも現実に襲ってくる人間なんていないじゃない。言っておくけど、あなたに付きまとわれたこの1週間だけじゃなくて、2年近く一人でいたのに、そんなことはこれまで一切なかったんだから。
But today just might be the day that changes.
詭弁を浪したって無駄よ。
Alright, in that case, take a look behind you.
だから。
Skaki starts another angry retort, but swallows a word as she notices that I've said something strange. There's been something wrong with this picture for a little while now.
背後って何があるのよ。
Skaki too seems to have finally caught up the scent of something strange in the air. With timid, uncertain movements, she slowly turns her head to look behind her. Yo, what's wrong with their fucking faces, bro?
The one closest on the left looks like a golem of some description.
Yeah.
My word.
Like especially the way he's hanging his fucking hands.
Yeah. He does look like some sort of ape.
The fucking dude with the fucking mohawk. Like he also looks like he's a fucking zombie.
They're like clones of some description, just Agent Smith, but with a lot less money installed in the project.
Like Agent Smith, but they all thug. Group of blatantly suspicious-looking men in black suits stare back. They're not even trying to hide what they are, which probably means they're planning to take forcible measures, only reinforcing this impression. The unmarked van, parked next to their car on the road above, a standard vehicle for carrying off a kidnapped victim. These gentlemen don't strike me as the most peace-loving bunch. Even without the van and the suits, it's clear enough from the glance of the lead group that these people aren't here for a calm negotiation. A brawny man strikingly wide on the shoulders towers at the head of the pack. At the side there's a man with bandages rolled around his fists, probably gripping something hard. The third keeps his arms dangling loosely at his sides in the manner of a martial artist waiting and watching for us to make a move. Even if they came out with a good evening, could you spare a moment to talk at this point? It'd be hard to take it as anything but a sarcastic provocation.
ねえ、この人たち誰なの？あなたが言っていた通り、私に用があって集まってきたの。
Skaki's tone of voice has grown distinctly uneasy. Faced with an unfamiliar atmosphere of danger, and normally cool-headed indifference was melted away. She unconsciously grabbed hold of my shirt, and there's clear fear in her eyes. Well, I don't have much value as a commodity, so I think it's safe to assume they're after you, Skaki.
だって私は。
You can make excuses if you want, but I don't think they're gonna change their objective. Skaki's hand grips my sleeve grips my sleeve even more tightly. The men approach slowly and silently, eyes fixed intently on us, looking for the right moment to take action. The three in front seem like the main threat. They've got 5 others hanging back as support, including their drivers. But that group doesn't seem to have any combat experience. Listen very carefully, Skaki. Drawing my face close to Skaki, push her long hair away from the side of her head. Shapely white ear emerges from its hiding place behind the black curtain. I speak a few faint, blunt words into it. Stay down, make yourself small as possible, and keep yourself behind me. Just do it all right, unless you're eager to take a ride with these charming people. Skaki's question falters off halfway through, but her meaning's clear enough. I offer a firm, empathetic nod. I can handle it. Might be a little frightening, but deal with it.
あなたが何をしているのか知らないけど、あんな人たちを、しかも大勢相手にするのなんか無理よ。
Fine, who said anything about that? He pulls out a gun. I love you, kitchen gun. Bang, bang.
kitchen gun.
Have you never seen that?
Sten. No.
I'm gonna send you the link later.
Okay. The only concept of a kitchen table gun that I'm familiar with is basically the Sten.
It'll be fine. Just do what I told you.
そんな
In that instant, as Sakaki tries to continue her objection, the man with the physique of a rugby player who's been standing at the head of the pack rushes forward, aiming to tackle me to the ground. Get down, Sakaki! As soon as Sakaki throws herself face down to the ground, I dodge the enormous man's charge like a toreador evading a ball. Apparently Rugby Man was expecting such a well-timed sidestep. Makes a little strange grunt as the momentum carries him past me. Nice broad back you've got there. Before he can begin to turn, I sharply drop my right elbow down into his oversized spine. I have to admit though, it makes for a nice big target as well. Rugby Man exhales roughly and collapses face first into the dirt. That's one for starters. Confirming that my oversized friend isn't getting up anytime soon, I whip around 180 degrees to face the other attackers. Bandage Hands here has a different style. He's spitting out short pants at regular intervals, bouncing slightly from side to side in time to the rhythm. This one's shorter than me, but his body's abnormally slit and lithe. His physique suggests extraordinary agility. From the stance, with his right arm slightly below and behind his left, it's clear that he's an experienced boxer. If he lands a punch, it's probably going to be a bone fracture or internal bleeding. Slugging match with a boxer is never a good idea, let alone when he's grasping something. In other words, I need to dodge until I have a chance to launch a disabling counterattack to a weak point. The tempo of Bandage Hands' breathing grows steadily quicker as he slowly begins to close the distance between us. The slight movements of his body begin to include something of a forward back sway. He's coming. The man exhales heavily and springs forward, his half-hidden right hand shooting out towards my face. I duck my head just barely enough to avoid the punch. Now within range, he follows up with a wider swing from the left. That's what I was looking for. Cleanly evading the second half of his predictable combination, I slide forward to point-blank range and land a violent kick to his shin. His bandage head freezes from the pain, I step back, pivot, and swing my fist into his right flank, throwing my whole body into the punch. Spittle and a strangled little grunt spray from the boxer's mouth. His eyes roll back in his head, and he collapses heavily to the ground. Should probably stay down for a while after taking a direct hit to the liver. Before the others can react, I've resettled myself at Skaki's side. 2 down. I look over at the final remaining member of the attacking team. Although there's a hint of shock in his expression after seeing the others go down so quickly, his composed posture suggests a fundamental confidence. He clearly thinks himself on a different level from those two. Particularly a stance involving constant movement of his limbs reminds me strongly of the Chinese Kenpo my master taught me back in the day. This one's aiming at a counter himself. I can picture him smoothly sidestepping the instant I try to lunge forward. The loose swing of his body might not look particularly intimidating to an amateur's eyes, but I'm confident he's more dangerous than the others. Well, let's try trap. Intimidating Rugby Man, Imitating Rugby Man, and I spring forward like a sprinter, charging directly at the martial artist. He instantly slips away from my attack with a triumphant little laugh. From the side, he fires off a sharp kick aimed at my pivot leg. Took the bait. I swivel to grab his extended leg, then twisted roughly in my arms, bringing him to the ground in a leg lock. Specifically, it's a heel hook, the sort frequently seen in your nastier mixed martial arts competitions. I twist his foot back with my arms, causing agonizing pain that would normally inspire a quick tap out. Of course, this isn't a match, so it's not an option. The man desperately uses his free legs and arms to attack me. But with his heel completely immobilized, it's impossible to gain the leverage necessary for an effective blow. Sorry, but I need you to settle down for a while. Bringing the strength of my arms to bear, I bend the man's heel sharply to the side. The joints of his ankle crack loudly and his foot turns in a direction nature never intended it to. The man lets out a strangled little scream and I feel a fight go out of him. When I release the hold, he instantly clutches his ankle and rolls around on the ground, tears streaming down his face. That's everyone. Raising.
Yeah, I bet.
Rising. Yeah, the man don't fuck around. Rising quickly to my feet, I place my body protectively in front of Sakaki's. The only men left standing nearby are 2 members of the support team. I glower at them expectantly.
そんな
バカな、聞いてた話と違うじゃねえか、おい。
But the remaining men keep their distance, watching warily and hissing to each other in flustered voices. What they signed up for? Maybe the kidnappers hashed out internal contracts or something of the sort. Nothing I need to be too concerned about at the moment, I suppose. We're gonna run away now, Skaki. Pull Skaki by the hand and run up the sloping bank towards the street above. Skaki quickly runs out of breath, but pushes herself desperately forward, barely managing to keep up. After reaching the road, I shoot one quick glance over my shoulder at the group of men we left behind. The remaining members are helping the battered fighters back to their vehicles rather than pursuing us. Concluding that they're backing off for now, I set off at a rapid jog down toward the dorm, towing Skaki along behind me. Although the men didn't seem to be chasing us, just to be safe, on the safe side, I took a number of brief detours on the way back to the campus. The sun had just been setting as we left, so by the time we finally reached the gate, it's already dark out. Bursting into the dorm in this state would just alarm everyone, and I don't think Skaki's looking for more of a fuss right now. Instead of running straight into the lobby, I lead her to the courtyard. You alright, Skaki? Finally releasing her hand, I ease Skaki down onto a bench to rest. I don't like this song. It activates my PTSD.
The woods. The woods.
Ah! Ah! Hold on, did I read that? Girl makes an admirable effort keeping up a tough front, but after all that running, she's she's understandably fatigued. Something? That's pretty vague. Referring to my scuffle with those gentlemen? Skaki silently nods her head. Well, I've been trained on how to deal with people proficient in various skills. It's kind of relevant in my line of work. In my profession, you naturally meet people with a wide range of experience in this regard. Former down-rank Kenpo practitioners, karate experts who have made it to nationals. Sometimes you'll even run into guys who competed in the world championships or something or other. Naturally, the same goes for our organization's competitors and professional rivals. So the instructors teach you a wide variety of coping strategies covering more or less the full range of martial arts. And by taught, I mean they beat the techniques into you. I myself suffered more than a few lessons that very nearly ended in bone fractures. It's just in there. Whoops, I dropped one. Where'd ball go? Oh well. She mutters the words without a hint of ridicule and a tone of complete conviction. It is a world Skaki knew nothing of until now. It's simply outside of range experience. Even if she understood in an academic sense that people like that existed, personally coming into contact with them has clearly driven home just how real and unpleasant that world is. So, there's your wake-up call. You understand now just how much danger you're in? Skaki nods with that characteristic honesty. Why not?
だから最初に言ったでしょ。私は別にどうなったって構わない。だからあなたに守ってもらう必要もないんだから。
The expression changes, the fear is fading, leaving something gloomy and bitter in its place. Just like the other day, I see a hint of defeat in her eyes.
護衛はもういいわ。明日から来ないでちょうだい。
Skaki brushes off a few clumps of earth from her skirt, then opens her bag and carefully returns the colored pencils scattered loosely inside to their box. When that task accomplished, she takes the bag in her hand and rises abruptly to her feet.
部屋に帰るわ。
And with this brief announcement, she strides quickly off in the direction of the dorm. But Skaki stops dead for paces away. After a moment's hesitation, she turns towards me and comes back. Her body's facing me, but her eyes won't quite meet mine. What is it? All of a sudden, she lowers her head in a slight bow.
今日は助けてくれてありがとう。必要ないと言っても、あなたが助けてくれたことには変わりはないもの。
It's so genuinely unexpected that all I can do is watch. Can't think of anything to say in return.
それじゃあ。
Once again, Skaki turns on her heel, and this time she doesn't stop. Her feet crunch across the gravel at a steady, controlled pace as she makes her way across the courtyard. Is that... I'm not imagining something. By appearance, at least, she is already back at the back to the Sakaki Yumiko I know. Watch her as she goes, thinking back over the events of the day. I'll say though, it was strange. The people who came after us today were, without a doubt, a standard crew of moderately skilled hooligans. But there's one thing that's been bothering me. They came at me one by one, taking turns like something out of a manga. That makes exactly 0 sense. All 3 of their tough guys should have rushed me at once. Hell, even the 5 who had been hanging back for support. The sheer numbers would have made it difficult even for me, especially with Sakaki to protect. Divide and conquer is the basic rule of fighting when outnumbered, and they went out of their way to divide themselves for me. No matter how I look at this, it just doesn't add up. Might just be a coincidence, but there's a possibility it means something. I'll figure it out now rather than run into some nasty surprise down the road. Guess JB would be the person to ask. Visions of a shaggy-headed know-it-all blonde floating unpleasant before my eyes. I slowly follow Skaki's path towards the dorm.
Unless they were there to scare. This is an interesting idea.
Approach your jobs with a detached perspective. Don't second-guess your instructions. That's the fundamental attitude my employers have beaten into me ever since I got into this line of work. In fact, I've never thought too hard about the jobs they give me. Just try to carry out my orders promptly, aiming for optimal efficiency and a near-perfect success rate. Master showed me the ropes, and she was the best. The field commanders, especially JB, give me precise and accurate instructions. I have the skills, and my employer tells me what to do with them. There's nothing to second-guess. Never has been, never will be. The time? Early afternoon. The place? A dormitory lobby. 2 residents confront each other across a coffee table. Normally, the word confront should apply to such a sort of casual interaction between classmates. But when Skaki is involved, it's a different story. To be more precise, the withering power of her glare can transform any encounter in a battle of wills into a battle of wills. Sure. However, once over the last few days, that fearsome scowl of hers seems to have lost some of its edge. Proceeding so towards the door, Skaki mutters the words without looking in my direction. Her voice is unusually uncertain, carrying more of a hint of genuine concern. Don't worry about it. Whatever happens, I'll protect you.
How romantic.
It's my job after all.
そうね。仕事だからね。なんか微妙に関係が深まった気がしない？はい、私にもそう見えました。一時の険悪さが嘘のようです。
つってもさ、なんか仕事がどうとかこうとかめんどくさいこともいろいろ言ってんだよな。お兄ちゃんもどこかビジネスライクでやってるっぽい感じがするのよさ。
何？ビジネスって仕事よね。ライクって何？生活だっけ？あ、それはライフか。で、ライクってなんだっけ？好き？仕事好き？みちる様、お菓子を差し上げましょう。マシュマロです。しばらくもぐもぐしててください。ありがとう。でもなんでまあ、確かにマキナの言う通り、険悪ではなくなったけど、微妙な距離感を感じるのも事実なのよね。
謎は深まるばかりなのよさ。
そうですね。もぐもぐ。これおいしい。もぐもぐ。
Priorities.
To be fair, I would like to snack on some right now.
Yes, me as well.
Together we walked the usual road to the riverbank, although I'm not sure if together is exactly the right word for a number of reasons. First of all, there is our physical distance. Skaki and I always walk a few meters apart. few days ago, Scott kept purposefully creating that gap, even trying to widen it. But now, if anything, I'm the one constantly maintaining our distance. I'm acting as a close protection bodyguard. Normally speaking, the closer I can be to point-blank range, the better. But at the moment, there aren't any visible threats, and I don't expect any bullets to come flying Skocky's away. The girls react strongly against overprotectiveness, so I'm trying to give her some space when I can. If I take a step forward and stretch out my hand, I can reach her. That seems to be the right distance for now. Skocky soon assumes her standard moderately rapid pace, no longer trying to escape me, but not looking back or making conversation either. Her long black hair flutters behind her. Follow at the same pace, careful not to fall behind. Since the first attack several days ago, Skocky's outings have constantly been attracting similar groups of shady-suited men. Sometimes they're lurking around in the distance, sometimes they try the forcible approach. Their objective seems to be a kidnapping, but obviously that hasn't happened yet. I've been continuously scaring them off, physically repelling their abduction attempts when necessary. As such events became a new part of her daily routine, Skocky's previously defined and indifferent behavior started to change as well. Only natural, I guess. No matter how much the girl insists she doesn't care about her life, the experience of real danger probably inspired some fear. Presumably the softening of her attitude toward me is a byproduct of that change in her state of mind. That said, Skocky doesn't seem to have completely sorted things out internally. She's stubbornly continuing her usual trips to the riverbank as if refusing to admit that she's afraid for her own safety. And so, once again, I found myself walking along at a regular distance behind her, carefully scanning the area for suspicious vehicles and pedestrians. Nothing for the moment, as usual. So far, the incidents have taken place with a very consistent timing. Not that I'm letting down my guard, of course, but if the pattern holds, they won't be showing up until early evening. When we arrive at the riverbank, Skocky settles down on the ground and begins taking her art supplies out of the tote bag. Like at some point, they show up at the same time as usual and try to go for the same. Like we go at them one person at a time to, you know, make it so she can still protect her, but still make it feel like she's in danger. He just dead ass snaps someone's neck. I am sick and tired of this. You there and you. I'm going to kill you all.
Or just yells over to one of them, do you mind just bringing a gun to make it more interesting?
There's a nice river right there that I can dump your bodies! And arranging them in front of her with practiced movements of her hands, she turns back to face me. Right. And after this brief comment, begins her sketching as usual. There's no real need for her to announce this to me, but now that things are slightly less tense, she's making a habit of it. For all her coldness, the girl's given the odd little gestures of courtesy. Comes with being well-bred, I guess. Well-bred, yes. That's the fucking word I was trying to say. The soft sounds of the river flowing, the occasional rumbling of trains passing by. Just when you start to forget it's there, the public announcement speakers mounted on the bridge relays a few reports about missing persons and smog levels. That's fucking... that's fucking that's fucking... not irritating. What's the word? Fuck. Ominous, that's the word. I'm stupid. Otherwise, this place is unbelievably quiet. I can certainly understand how it would appeal to a loner like Skocky. The girl in question is already absorbed in enjoying the scenery before her eyes. Seems to have completely forgotten I'm even here. Her hand doesn't stop moving the colored pencil across her paper even for a moment. Pretty impressive. A sketchbook page, a vivid sky punctuated by wispy clouds, takes shape above an expanse of green. As I watch a faint shadow stirs painfully somewhere deep inside my chest. Damn, not again. Fragmented memories hidden in the cracks and crevices of my brain like pieces of rubbish react to the slight roughness of the sketchbook paper. He's drawing the sky with the deft movements of a light blue, with deft movements of a light blue colored pencil, filling the page with shades of cyan. But from it, in between those strokes of color, I see something black and ugly oozing out, overwhelming the sky, rotting it away. While the page is covered with that sickening blackness, a blood-red image begins to take shape above it. A face, pushed out of my head with a desperate effort of will. I don't have to worry about it anymore. I don't have to think about anything anymore. It's all behind me now, isn't it? What's past is past. I should understand it better than anyone else. But even now, it finds the smallest gaps in my defenses, but it's way effortlessly into the present. Stay the hell away. The person I am today struggles with the thing attacking me. Forcing myself to focus on the reality before my eyes, I draw slow, deep breaths. At the time the dark entity dissipates. Refreshing summer scene spreads out before my eyes once more. Body damp with sweat has nothing to do with the heat. Oh, I forgot about you that easily, huh? Mutter the words to myself, too quietly for Skaggy to hear. Can't erase the memories, but at least my voice is erased by the breeze. The wind that blew my words away carried the clouds above slowly toward the sea. The sky itself is beautiful enough to seem artificial. But at its very edge, a tinge of red begins to glow.
終わったわ。
Just as when it began, Skaki informs me briefly that her sketching session has concluded. At first, she just put away her materials silently in a bag without any fanfare whatsoever. But recently, she's been considerately letting me know. I don't know why I guess because he mentioned something artificial and my brain just for some reason went there. There's a game called Artificial Academy 2. Think like the original Koikatsu, I guess. And for some reason, there was like a YouTuber, like, fucking ages ago at this point. Like, I'm talking very early YouTube, that made a series of Artificial Academy videos, because, like, something in Artificial Academy that doesn't happen in Koikatsu is, if you give someone the yandere personality and they see you flirting with someone too much after you've, you know, made them fall for you, they will get stabby. If they stab that other person, or you, is entirely up to them, but they will get stabby. And so what this man has done is, like, he essentially asked people for, like models of different yandere characters to all put into the same academy, and then he made a roulette who kills someone first. And then whoever kills someone, he's out for the next, that person is out for the next round. I don't know why I randomly remembered that. Let's see. Fortunately, it seems like they're just getting started here. My voice is more than a little tension at Skaka's expressionlessly grows gloomy.
またなの?
Yeah, and it seems like they've got some troublesome ones on our hands. We've got some troublesome ones on our hands this time. With Skaki behind me, as always, I look around the area. These ones really do look like trouble. They look the same, actually. Well, when I get the better look at the group clambering slowly down the slope from the vehicles above, I can feel my body growing tenser. Like something out of a ridiculous superhero drama. The group coming after Skaki have been growing incrementally stronger with each passing day. At first, I'd been able to deal with them without breaking too much of a sweat, but now the fights are starting to get too close for comfort. This pattern needs to change, and soon. Well, JB was answering her phone. What's going on over there anyway? There are some strange common features about the behavior of these people. My suspicions about their unnatural actions during their first attack have only grown. I want to discuss that as well as hash out some countermeasures to reverse this rapidly deteriorating situation, but my beloved superior has suddenly decided to stop responding to my calls. That's extremely unusual, especially during a mission. Thinking about it from another angle, it could well be that she's deliberately cut off contact after deciding it would be counterproductive somehow. In other words, an implicit message to focus on the problems in front of you for now. That said, if this goes on much longer, it's going to get tough. As always, the group approaches only gradually, tightening the net around us, well, little by little, as if to intimidate. It's all strangely artificial. The inefficiency of their movement must be intentional. But I don't know what that means. I can't act on the basis of vague hunches. For now, the only thing I can do is protect Skaki Yumiko from the threat in front of us. That's my job and my responsibility. They're coming! Dodging the first man's kick by a hair's breadth, I grab his ankle and wrench it sharply upward. Before he even hits the ground, I can hear the second, third attackers rushing in from behind. I immediately spin around and pull Skaki to safety behind me and take a stance.
大丈夫なの? あなた.
How many times do I have to tell you I'm fine?
だってあんなに殴られたり転がされたりしたのに.
This man was fucking rolling? That was deliberate. In any case, a few bruises are part of the job description.
またそうやって仕事って。
ユージ、だんだんと生傷がひどくなってきているのよさ。
これはもう例の件を進めないといけませんね。
何の話それ？わお。
みちる様、美味しいパン
What
ケー
was
キ
that
です
noise?
その件について
That
は
was the sound of a
後でお話し
pancake
し
being
ます
stuffed into her mouth.
A gastronomic interruption.
おいしいよ、これクッキング
Don't talk me in
じゃあ
that full.
作戦決行は明日の朝。後で手順を確認するから私の部屋に23時集合。お願いね。
了解なのよさ。
了解です。
ねもう。
Want to keep going, or do you want to end the part here?
I'll do either. I'm happy with either.
What time is it?
Guess we
now?
leave it up to Eagle.
I'm going a little bit longer.
Okay.
Yeah, we can go.
The Eagle is the one who has work tomorrow. He is the one that is in charge of when we stop, I guess.
Yeah.
Indeed, I don't have anything to do, nor is it very late here. So.
何の音？気のせいね。最近あんなことがずっと。
He's gone! Moments ago, I made my way to Skaga's room for my usual morning checkup, only to find her door hanging wide open. On a very rare occasion, the woman might leave her door open a crack while doing her laundry or something, but I've never seen it like this before. What's more, the suspicious handkerchief abandoned just outside the entrance makes it clear that she hasn't just stepped out for a moment. God damn it, he got me. Unbelievable to think they were capable of sneaking onto the campus and snatching her away from me without even being noticed. But those clumsy attacks is nothing but a feint. I lowered my level of vigilance somewhat inside the dorm, since there's almost always other people around. It seems that barely underestimated my opponents. They can't have gotten far yet. I'll just have to hurry. Just as I turn to make my way outside,
大丈夫です、風見さん。
Sachi,
Oh,
nearly calm voice from behind stops me in my tracks. The girl looks up at me with a knowing expression on her face.
榊さんをお探しなのでしょ、風見さん。
Sachi, why do you...
答えは簡単です。私が榊さんを略取したからに他なりません。
Like, she says this without hearing her out. He just fucking beats her down. Okay, moving on to the next one.
that sounds oddly like something he would do.
Yeah, just Liam Neesoning her face.
Like she says that, like she gets the her out, and before she can even get out the UC, she just suddenly gets drop kicked to the face. That's the wrong button. What? I'd always suspected this woman had enough potential to enroll in a national intelligence agency with the right recommendation, but I hadn't even considered possibility she was already affiliated with some organization. My carelessness came back to bite me on this one. Well, do you have some demand of me and my employer? Kidnapped Skaki as a bargaining chip, didn't you? Do you expect me to fulfill terms of some sort in exchange for a return, or perhaps?
いえ、違います、風見さん。私はそういった目的で榊さんを略取したのではありません。
Say what?
マキちゃんに依頼されたので、いえ、正確にはその後ろには天音さんがいるんですが。
Now it's finally making sense. Most likely a certain authority within the dorm rashly pressed Skaki into carrying out some ridiculous scheme, Sachi into carrying out some ridiculous scheme, resulting in the unfortunate Skaki being taken captive, something along those lines. Can't even begin to speculate about their objective here, but it's probably safe to assume it's some variety of harmless idiocy.
ともかく、主に私たちの私的な理由から行われたことですので、その目的が達成されれば、すぐに榊さんはお返しいたします。
You can't tell me anything about these personal reasons or what have you?
誠に申し訳ありませんが、それは固く禁止されています。
Let's see, in that case, I won't try to force you. Considering Sachi's personality, it probably just caused us both a lot of grief if I pushed her for more. I'm already completely reassured that it's nothing more than the usual shenanigans, so the details aren't that crucial anyway. And above all else, sticking my head into a private discussion between women would almost certainly not be helpful for anyone involved. Alright then, I have no idea what you people are up to, but go ahead, do it. I'll be standing by my room if you need me.
ありがとうございます。この小峰幸、ご好意に感謝いたします。
Sachi offers me a respectful bow, then trots off down the hallway and vanishes silently around a corner. The girl doesn't hang around longer than she has to. She knows how to extract herself when the moment's right. I have to say, I really do think Sachi has some talent in that field.
ただいま戻りました。
They actually fucking tied her to a chair? What the fuck?
Yep. This is kind of why I encourage you to continue for a bit.
Oh. Now they just need the big spotlight that can shine in her eyes.
はい、
Whoever is
説
making
明
you
には
talk.
成功しました。私たちの思惑についても一切口外はしていません。了解。じゃあ、さっちゃんもそこに座って。はい。
一体どういうことか説明してくださらないかしら。
そうね。どこから説明したらいいものか。
まさかちゃんとした理由もないまま呼んだんじゃないでしょうね。あなた
そんなことないってば。ちゃんと理由があって呼んだのは間違いないって。
Namely, they wanted to test out their new wallpaper engine, apparently.
Wallpaper engine, yeah.
ただ、まさかこんな大行な形で呼ぶことになっちゃうとは思わなくてね。落ち着いてください、榊さん。私たちもできるだけ穏便にことを進めたいと思ってこういう手段を取ったまでです。
あなたたちの言う穏便っていうのは薬で眠らせた挙句両手両足を縛った上で椅子に拘束することを言うの？
サチに何が何でも連れてこいって言ったのがまずかったのよさ。
あんたね、そんなこと言ったらこうなるってことぐらいわかるでしょう、普通。榊さんを支障なくこの部屋に呼ぶ。その条件下においてできる限りの方法を選択したつもりだったのですが。
This does imply that she always keeps like the right fucking dosage of chloroform for every fucking resident in this dorm at the ready. Like she just has portion of bottles like this much chloroform to knock him out, this much chloroform to knock her out, this much chloroform to knock the idiot out, and the idiot one is literally just empty with just a fucking piece of paper saying hit her in the head.
そこで薬染み込ませたハンカチを吸わせる方に考えがいくんだから、本当に恐ろしいわね、サチって。
もういいわよ。経緯はどうだっていいからさっさと要件を済ませてくださらないかしら。
はい、じゃあ始めさせていただきますわね。ったく、なんで私がこんな下手に出なきゃいけないのよ。
まだ何か？
いや全然。
珍しい。アマネーがちょっと引いてるのよさ。
なんか蛇対ハブって感じでどっちも迫力満点だけどね。みちる様、私ごときが差し出がましいかもしれませんが。ああ、もう分かってるわよ。ハブも蛇の仲間だって言いたいんでしょ。分かってるわよ。ニュアンスよ。漢字で受け取りなさいよ。はい、わかりました。漢字で受け取ります。ハブだって蛇だって構いません。いいん
だってよ。よかったな、チルチル。
ムカつく。
ムカつくわ。
あのね、あんたたちうるさい。
まだなのかしら。
ごめん。じゃあ改めて単刀直入に聞くわね。榊さん、あなたユージと今現在どういう関係にあるわけ？
関係？
ここしばらくあなたとユージが外に出かけた際、必ずと言っていいほどユージがいかにも何かあったって感じで帰ってくるの。でもさ、あいつに聞いたとこで絶対に何も答えてなんかくれなくてね。それであなたに聞こうと思って。
Why was their first thought like there's something going on between the two of them? What did they expect that fucking they sneak out of the fucking dorm to go to the hotel where they just she just beats the shit out of him for sexual gratification or something?
I'd let that happen.
Of course you would, bottom. Oh yeah, right. There's a new hero that got added to Dota 2, and he's fucking busted. Like I'm talking. If you play him right, you can just 1v5 a team. Like this is some like fucking post added Monkey King bullshit. Like pre-first nerf.
別にね、あなたとユージが何か特別な関係になったとかなら、私もそれはあなたたちのことだし、介入するつもりなんかないの。ただ、もし何か別の事情があるんだったら、話してくれないかなって思ったの。まあ、ほら、なんだかんだ言っても、うちら6人しかいないわけじゃん。その中であんまし分かりやすく目に見えるような秘密抱えてても気持ち悪いかなって。榊さんが一人でそういうの抱える人なのはわかるけど、今回はもう一人噛んでるしさ。それで
そう、あくまでも目的は風見くんなのね。
今何か言った？
別に。理由は父の依頼よ。風見くんが私の周りについているのは護衛するため。他には何の理由もないわ。
お父さんの？
そうよ。スオさん、あなたはご存知よね。うちの父のことは。
まあ、そりゃあね。うちのお父ちゃんとこのお得意さんだし、ここに入学する際にもいろいろあったし。
ならば、私の実家のこともお分かりよね。
うん。で、その流れで言うと、護衛が必要な件って、つまりは榊さんを。
そう。略取、誘拐などの脅威から守るために、私が一人で行動する際、そばについて行動を共にする。トラブルが起こった際には、実力でこれを排除する。
マジであるのね。そんなとんでもない話が。
まあユミちゃんの家は半端ねえ金持ちだもんな。ありえるのよさ。
Bitch, so is yours!
そうなの？それってどのレベルなの？わかりやすくケルペソとかで説明してくれない？
みちる様、何ですかその価値基準は。
ケルペソあんじゃん、原液。白くてぬるたいの。あれと水の比率を測れば、その家の立地さがわかるって聞いたことないの？
みちる様、幸は、この小峰幸は寂しゅうございます。
She's just retarded, don't worry. Also, isn't her family like also rich? Like the only one here that does not have a rich family is Amane and Sachi.
I think Michiru's were more just well-to-do rather than rich.
They hired multiple private tutors for their child.
After that level of failure, I don't suppose they're rich anymore.
But they were.
Merely well off. I stand by that.
You are not just well off when you hire multiple fucking private tutors for your child before she even goes to elementary school.
Doesn't even have to do all that.
Especially if one of said tutors is for piano lessons.
Piano tuition is not that expensive.
Yeah, but you're not going to hire a fucking private tutor to come to your residence to teach your child piano before she even hits fucking elementary school.
That is true.
I agree with Steve. Although piano lessons may not be expensive, only a fucking rich person would hire a piano tutor for their toddler.
Yeah.
なんでよ。ちょっと、なんで寂しいのか答えなさいよ。そういう実家小ネタは後にしなさいな。今、榊さんに質問を。ケルペソ、うちは10対1だったな。水が10で、ケルペソ1。さっちゃん、みちるの口に何か突っ込んどいて。
わかりました。みちる様、飴を差し上げましょう。
榊さんの事情は今の説明で分かったけど、で、それにどうしてユージが関係してくるの？
風見くんの仕事は国が関係してるそうよ。それが理由のようだけど。
国って公務員とかそういう仕事なのかな？
そこまではわからないわ。聞いてもはぐらかされるし。
公務員、それで護衛等が関係するとなると何でしょうか？ SP？ 警察とか？
ありえるのよさ。お兄ちゃんのあのインチキな体力と年齢に見合わない経験はそういう修羅場をいかにもくぐってそうなのよ。何やだそれ。私逮捕されたらどうしよう。
What? You got something to worry about that you need to be arrested for? Well, according to her, probably.
みちる様、まだ警察官だと決まったわけではありませんよ。
なんだチルチル、もう飴舐め終わったのか。舐めるの早いな。舌力強え。
Oh lord.
ちょっと、人がいかにもうまいような言い方しないでよね。
She out and out says blowjobs.
警察ってマジな
Also,
の？
what if
みんな怖く
in
ない
the
の？
uncensored version she out and out
逮捕
says
する
blowjobs?
ってユージが言ったらいかの
It's
終
just
わりなの
such
よ。
a juxtaposition. It's great.
I don't know why, but I feel like Amane would be kind of into it.
Mm-hmm. I can picture that happening now.
さっちゃん、口。はい。みちる様、サンドイッチをどうぞ。
チルチルってうまいのか。こりゃユミちゃんもうかうかしてられねえよな。ユミちゃんの得意な技って何？
あなたの質問には一切答えるつもりはないけど、それ以前に私と風見くんはそういう関係じゃないし、そもそも興味もないんだから、関連づけるのはやめてくださらないかしら。
おーいおーい、このお客さんまだ白切る気ですよボス。あんな悪いけど姉ちゃんがあいつに惚れてるってネタは山ほど上がってんだかんな。
もうそっちの話しちゃうの？急じゃない？
いいって、もうゲロってもらいやしょうぜボス。このままノラクラと世間話の延長やってたとこでこの姉ちゃんの口はちっとも開きそうにねえし。
ボスって何よ。まあいいわ。じゃあ始めよっか。第2部。
何？ネタって。あと第2部って何よ？
サチン、例のものを床にぶちまけてやんな。
はい、そーれ。
これは
クーデレユミちゃん、出れ始めるのずー。
Oh lord.
私の写真。いつの間にこんな。
これは寮の入り口ですね。出かけようとする榊さんを捉えました。靴を履きながらも少し前に立っている風見さんの姿を目で追って、おや、少し眠いのでしょうか。なんとも言えない表情です。口も半分ほど開いていますね。
何を失礼な。ロープをほどきなさい。あと写真を。
そしてこれは河川敷から帰る最中。少し後ろを歩く風見さんの方を横目で見ながら物憂げな表情を浮かべています。この顔の赤さは決して夕焼けのせいだけではない。それはきっと。やめなさい。これはつい先日撮影されたものですが、体に触れようとしているのに触れられない、もどかしげな様子が中途半端に伸ばされた手の様子に見て取れます。しかし何よりもこの表情、見てください。もはやことが済んでしまったかのような。お分かりの通り、これはもう恋する乙女の顔ですね。実際この写真以外にも撮影者によっていろいろと証拠は握られているわ。
指揮者に見せればもう関係結んでてもおかしくないでしょうってコメントくるでこりゃ。
何？関係って何？悪巧みのこと？
Sachi, mouth.
みちる様、いつまでもそのようなみちる様でいてくださいね。
Oh, my nose is dry.
だから
らなんなのよそれって。私マジでわかんないんだけど。
口。
Oh.
みちる様、ジュースです。
Oh, she's drowning now.
まあともかくこれだけすでにネタは上がってんの。これ以上の抗弁は見苦しいだけだと思うけどね、榊由美子さん。認めなさい。あなたは風見雄二に惚れてる。間違いないわね。卑怯よ、あなたたち卑怯だわ。こんな隠し撮りしてまで私のことを笑い物にしたかったの。それは私だってコミュニケーションを取ろうとしなかったし、あなたたちとも距離を置いて生活はしていたけど、それにしてもこうなるって。いや、笑い物にする気とかないんだけど。いや、だから最初にも言ったじゃない。もし榊さんとユージがそういう関係とかだったら、私たちが変に邪魔しちゃうと悪いからさ、むしろちゃんと確認した上で陰ながら応援でもできればって思ってたのよ。申し訳ありません。どうしても外側から見る限りでは確証が持てなかったので、少々荒っぽい方法ではありましたが、ご本人に確認を取らせていただきました。これで由美子がユージに対してどう思ってるのかが分かったし、それならそうとして動きやすくはなるよね。
まあこれ見せてどういう反応すっかみんな楽しみにはしてたけどな。てなあまね。
どういうわけなの、榊さん。
そうなの。分かったわ。
分かってもらえたのならオッケ
ー。でもやっぱりその気遣いは無用よ。だって私から風見くんへの気持ちなんて所詮は一方通行だから。
ユミちゃん、
風見くんに聞いたのよ。なんでそうまでして守ってくれるのかって。そしたら返ってきた答えは仕事だから。まあ当然よね。そういう経緯でもない限りは私みたいなののために体張って守るなんてありえないもの。でも嬉しかったのよ。今まで誰かに守ってもらったことなんて一度もなかったから、たとえ仕事とはいえ自分を守ってもらえるってだけですごく嬉しかった。風見くんには迷惑な話でしょうけどね。自分でもこの感情が何かなんてわからないし、どうしたらいいかもわからないわ。今はせめて風見くんの体を言葉で気遣うぐらいしかできない。それもまあ一方通行みたいだけど。
榊さんはさ、誰か好きになったこととかないの？
あるならこんなカッターを振り回す不愛想な女になってはいないわ。
Those are her own words.
ごめん。
Though I do believe we have a title.
私たち。
Box Cutter Menace.
Yes.
The lady of the cutting remark.
別にいいわよ。元から滑稽な話だもん。
まあでもそうとなればあの鈍感には少しぐらいは榊さんの魅力について教えてあげないといけないわよね。よーし。
Oh, off they go to take a stab at it.
ユミちゃん基本的にガタイは抜群だし、ケツでも振れば一発なのよさ。
だから
はい、全くその通りだと思います。風見さんは自らの前に置かれた最上の据え膳に早く気づくべきですし、膳もまた食べてもらいたいと望んでいるわけですから。ご飯の準備なんていつ終わったの？ねえ、サーチ。
God, she's a fucking moron. But hey, we love it about her.
Yeah.
ちょっと、だからあなたたち何かとんでもないことを風見くんに言うつもりじゃ。
She's also still tied up.
言っちゃった。
Imagine you have to go to the toilet now. That'd be awkward.
私は一体いつこれをほどいてもらえるの？
Well, Eagle?
Let's finish this little bit, then we'll call it. There's a tiny bit to go, just to round out the scene.
風見くん、
What's wrong?
じろじろと人の体を見るのやめてくれないかしら。
Right, my apologies. A certain individual directed me to observe you more carefully, you see. Couldn't go about it any other way.
そのとある人物について詳細を聞かせてもらえないかしら。
Sorry, but I've sworn to silence. I've been
ならば
sworn to silence.
誰が絡んでいるのかは一切話さなくていいわ。その中止する部分や内容について詳しく聞かせていただけないかしら。
Not sure that would be such a good idea either. I have a feeling the answer might irritate you somewhat. But if you're really that interested in hearing someone else's groundless speculation regarding your physical characteristics...
いいわ。それで十分理解したから。
I see. In that case, I'll continue my observations.
理解したからってあなたがジロジロ見ることにまで許可を与えたつもりはないわよ。
That's so. My apologies.
まったく協力どころか結局笑い物にしてるだけじゃないの。
What's with all the heavy sighs?
なんでもないわよ。なんでもないわよ。もう。
What's going on around here anyway?
I think that rounds it out nicely.
どういうことだこれは
Oh no, I just wanted to see his ragey face before we finished.
Like, he's just over like, hey, wasn't the bodyguard supposed to be, like, beaten at least, like, once at this point? You know, like, close fight still, but, like, make him, like, unable to, you know, guard her body for at least a few days to make the danger hit. Like, yeah, sorry, he just keeps kicking our ass. Like, I hired you as professionals. To be fair, he is a special agent. What were you think was gonna happen? Anyways, there we go. Cross purposes. Oh yeah. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this one. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and see you next time. Bye bye.
And I hope you don't suffer from tongue tying as bad as he did.
Shush. And next week might not be a Grisaia recording. Depends on Bud, really.
Yeah.
Bye.